You're listening to The Standard Podcast. Eye-opening for your ears.
สวัสดีค่ะโบสาวิตรีนะคะ This is We Need To Talk Podcast Talk Show ภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับคนไทยที่ใช้ภาษาอังกฤษค่ะ Hi you guys, welcome to our show. Thank you so much for listening. ตามธรรมเนียมของ We Need To Talk โบจะชวนเกสของเราคุย3ประเด็นนะคะถ้าเป็นพี่ฮิวโก้เนี่ยเรื่องแรกที่โบอยากจะชวนคุยน่าจะเป็นเรื่องของคอนเสิร์ตใหญ่ในเดือนกันยายนปี2560นี้ค่ะหลังจากที่ไม่ได้มีคอนเสิร์ตของตัวเองมานานมากแฟนๆน่ะตื่นเต้นแน่แต่พี่ฮิวโก้น่ะตื่นเต้นไหมหรือตื่นเต้นแค่ไหนเดี๋ยวโบจะถามให้นะคะเรื่องที่2คุณผู้ฟังทราบไหมคะตอนนี้กำลังมีนิทรรศการชื่อจักรพงศ์นิทัศน์และ100 ปีสยามกับสงครามโลกครั้งที่1ที่จัดแสดงพระประวัติและผลงานของสมเด็จเจ้าฟ้าจักรพงศ์ภูวนาถกรมหลวงพิษณุโลกประชานาถซึ่งเป็นท่านทวดของพี่ฮิวโก้ค่ะนิทรรศการนี้จัดแสดงให้ชมถึงวันที่30กันยายนปี2560ที่จำหลักจิตรลดาพิพิธภัณฑ์ตำรวจวังปารุสกวันชมฟรีด้วยนะคะนิทรรศการนี้จะมีอะไรน่าสนใจเป็นพิเศษบ้างเดี๋ยวมาฟังพี่ฮิวโก้เล่ากันค่ะและเรื่องสุดท้ายโบอยากฟังพี่ฮิวโก้เล่าเรื่องในฐานะคุณพ่อค่ะไหนๆวันนี้เราก็ได้พูดคุยกันเรื่องของคุณทวดมาคุยเรื่องของรุ่นหลานๆกันบ้างก็น่าจะสนุกดีนะคะเอาล่ะค่ะตอนนี้ได้เวลาเปลี่ยนโหมดเป็นภาษาอังกฤษกันแล้วพร้อมหรือยังคะ Ladies and gentlemen, it would be my pleasure to introduce our guest for this episode of We Need to Talk podcast. He's a singer, a musician, a songwriter, once an actor and a model, now a husband and a father. Besides being so handsome, talented, cool, and smart, he's also known for speaking his mind and voicing thought-provoking opinions. Let's meet him now, P. Leg Hugo ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะพี่เล็ก
สวัสดีครับ
Thank you so much for being on our show and happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Your birthday was on August 6th, so yay. So since our show is called We Need to Talk, first thing we need to talk about is your upcoming big concert, right? So you've done a lot of things in life, but as a career, I've heard on some interviews that you enjoy being on stage performing your music the most. Is that so?
Yeah, it's the main reason I do what I do aside from it being my living or my job, but that's the outside of any personal things in my life. That is a time where I feel like the inner and outer is not in conflict and everything is as it should be. There's no compromise, there's no obstacles.The people on the audience are on your side, your band, you're rehearsed, you're where you want to be, doing what you want to do. That's why I don't really feel a need to jump out of airplanes or swim with sharks or do anything like that.
Yeah. So what does this concert mean to you?
This one in particular? This is an attempt to give the fans, I think this is what they want.Previously, I've been quite rigorous in just ramming my artistic vision down people's throats and they either take it or leave it. This time and this album, although not in a kind of pandering way, but I've been attempting to communicate directly with them and in playing around the country, every now and then a guy will shout out some song from like 15 years ago that I haven't played in a long time.And so I've decided that while the album is done and all the creative decisions have been made and there's been no compromise and it's been made exactly how I think it should be and there've been very few obstacles in bringing it to market. It's the artwork, everything. I've had plenty of control. So why not do a concert that is one that I think that Thai fans want, which is to sing songs from the entire catalog and just the Thai songs.
And I think they appreciate that.
We'll see if they buy tickets. We'll see.
Do you guys hear that? Buy tickets.
It's the only way to know.
Yep. So the concert is called Sing Corporation Presents Hugo ภาษาแม่
Yeah.
What can we expect the experience for that night to be like?
Well, there's going to be a lot of music. We're going to play the entirety of Dam Sanit, which is the new record. And then we're going to get into something from every Sip Law album. So it's going to be a pretty broad chunk of material. There's over 30 songs. So I hope this is what they want because they're going to get a lot of it.
Just out of curiosity, why ภาษาแม่
Well, it's like a direct translation of the English phrase mother tongue. When someone asks, when you speak a language, it's your mother tongue. And in my case, it's relevant because my mother is someone who has worked a lot in the Thai language, even to the extent of doing the Oxford Dictionary. And yet is often someone, because she looks outwardly, looks like a European. People sometimes question her Thainess, but I think she has a command of Thai that far exceeds the average Thai speaker and a knowledge of Thai history and culture and whatever. Coupled with my father, who's not Thai at all. And in Thailand, it's amusing when you say the word father. Pa. But man ไม่ใช่ภาษาพ่อ because that's true. It's not my father's language. So it's my mother's language. ภาษาแม่
That makes sense. You're, like you said, you're from several cultural backgrounds. You've worked in different countries and different industries. You've been in so many places. You were Hugo of Wong Sip Law, and you are P. Hugo, who once wrote a song for Beyonce. What would be something that you've noticed from just being around all over the places that we as human have in common, no matter where they live?
Well, I guess there are some things that are kind of across the board. Everyone, when they're young, they think they know everything. And then when you get older, you realize you don't know everything and practically know nothing at all. When you're young, you're very liberal, sometimes even radical, and want to change the world. When you're older, you become more conservative and you want things not to change so fast. Having children changes most people for the better. And I don't think anyone is rational. I think people do what they want to do or can do because of the opportunities they have, and then rationalize it afterwards and say, well, this is why, and this is who I am because of X, Y, and Z. But I think most of us are just sort of stumbling along, thinking we have some level of free will, but I think we might have a lot less than we think. And I think that's across the board. But people are very, very different as well. There's not a lot you can assume about someone by looking at them.
Right, that's true. So being a musician, that gives you opportunities to travel all over. And you said earlier that you've traveled across the country, well, like across Thailand.
Sure.
And I've heard that you also traveled all over the U.S. for being on tour in both countries. Where would you say would be some of your favorite places that you would like to revisit?
Oh, I very much liked Tennessee.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought it was very pretty. I liked it a lot. I was amazed by Wyoming. I'd never been in such an open space in my life. I'd never seen 500 miles go by with not a single building or anything. The Pacific Northwest and the whole West Coast I found to be, the most sort of progressive and modern and beautiful part of the United States. I felt very safe there. A lot of parts of America I liked a lot, despite me taking quite a close interest in history and whatever else. And then America gets a lot of criticism, particularly now.
Yeah.
It's still an amazing country full of amazing people, and you can go anywhere and find a whole town or even a whole city that's different that you could find like-minded people in. So it's very diverse. I'm still going to live in Thailand just because my roots here are too deep to spend anywhere else, really.
Yeah, and I think that was my favorite part in the U.S. too. Being around such a diverse group of people and everyone are so open-minded, especially in college. I remember being in college and being in the like-minded people, and everyone was there ready to accept everybody else and everybody else's cultures. And I thought that was the coolest thing. You know, America is the melting pot. So I think that was one of my favorite parts about the U.S. too. Now you mentioned Tennessee and Wyoming. Is that because you sort of... I've heard that you like cowboy movies.
Sure, yeah.
Does that play a part? Is that
Absolutely.
a part of why
Absolutely.
you love those places?
In England, when I was young, on the weekends I would go and stay with my father, and on Channel 4, back when there were only 4 TV channels, he would go and play tennis or do something, and I would watch these westerns. They seemed so long, the movies. And it would be, you know, John Wayne movies, Clint Eastwood movies, and other westerns like that. And yeah, I mean, you know, it was a sort of an archetype of how men should behave and being reliant and being someone people could depend on. And you know, there's still a lot of that in America, that sense of self-reliance and that sense of toughness. And that, you know, because in a lot of the Western cultures or developed countries, a lot of that's been lost or deliberately, you know, ushered away as something bad or negative or backward. America still has, you know, in its diversity, it still has that very almost old school masculinity, which I think still has a place, not for everybody and not in all of its extremes, but it's still something worth having in mind as an archetype of the lone, you know, the lone guy that you don't know who he is or where he's come from, and it doesn't matter. You don't know his background, you don't know where he's from, but he could come somewhere and change everything or help people out. And there's a particular movie called The Outlaw Josie Wales, where Clint Eastwood is this Civil War veteran, and he's a lone rider like he always plays, but he starts collecting people. He doesn't want them around, but he ends up having to help them out anyway, and they start following him around. By the end of the movie, he's got like 5 or 6 different people like following him around everywhere, and he's had to kind of have a family despite never wanting a family and losing all his family in the beginning of the movie, and then he sort of finds a new family begrudgingly, you know. And so I guess I have a very romantic view of that probably very brutal period in American history, where a lot of bad stuff was going on as well.
You have also done some acting yourself. You once said that you didn't really like yourself as an actor. Which part of it don't you like?
Well, you know, the movies I like and the actors I like are guys who completely lose themselves in a role, and you feel like they could do anything. Any top actor is someone who is totally unpredictable in the movie. You don't know whether they're going to take their clothes off or start eating an live octopus or whatever. I can't do any of that stuff. I'm still too much me, and there are things I won't do. Particularly now I'm married, I'm not about to do any sex scenes or any, you know, I don't particularly want to get hurt doing stunts. I don't want to start learning like martial arts or mountain climbing or any of that stuff. There's too much I already want to do without risking life and limb, you know, and days and days of my time in pursuit of whatever it is. And there are lots of good actors that can do it. You know, there are lots of... So it's not like I'm really needed there. I don't think there are a lot of people, at least in Thailand, doing what I'm doing necessarily. So I feel like I have a role to play. I have an audience to entertain and to you know, play music to. There's some kind of whatever it is they get from it. I would like to continue doing that, and acting takes a lot of time. Plus with children, you know, between work, spending time with my wife and being available for my children, there isn't time to be sitting around waiting for someone to have their makeup done or whatever, you know.
Now, the second thing we need to talk about is about your great-grandfather. Now, there's a Jakapong Nitat exhibition going on as we speak until the end of September 2017. I imagine that you probably have grown up hearing a ton of stories about your great-grandfather. Were there any particular stories that stuck out to you?
Well, I just think how much people used to get done in a life. And this is a man who died young. And yet he was, doing all kinds of different things. I mean, the amount of individual skills a man would learn back then. But obviously, I think the most impressive and kind of tragic thing was obviously his relationship with Katya, which at the time was completely unheard of to have as an interracial couple in a conservative country. But I guess he was lucky at the time that His Majesty Rama V was a pretty modern monarch, and so could kind of take it, and it almost made sense because he was so outward looking. So I guess that relationship and its kind of tragic end, I guess, is the thing which has always stayed with me. That there are things are beautiful but they are fragile, and life is fragile, but it's okay to do the unexpected. It's okay to be unconventional, and as an adventurous and modern guy, and the effect that it's had on my mother, the sense of duty that she has to maintain and document and continue and to live a life of some substance. And although not necessarily to have any official role, but certainly that this life should not be wasted in view of how we've arrived at this point. It would be a shame to be descended from that and just to throw it all away on fast cars and even faster women.
Oh, I love that line. I love that sentence. That sums it up really well. And I think it's important even for normal people to know who you are and to know where you came from and to know your family history. It's important to know where your roots are. And since the world has changed so much, and sometimes in ways we can't even imagine, and it's still rapidly changing, why do we still need to study about the past and learn about the past?
The present is the result of the past, and that's an inescapable truth. So to have any hope of understanding where we are now or where we might go, we have to look at where we've been. And aside from its philosophical importance, I think just as a matter of interest, a city with no past or with no link to its past or with a recent past is not as interesting as a city with a deep past and roots to its past. This is what I don't know if it's still the case, but there's a reason why London is one of the most visited cities in the world. It's because it's been there for over 2,000 years. There's a reason people go to Jerusalem. Now there are other things that people go to, places like that. But I mean, just in terms of being interesting, just as an aesthetic choice, historical things and things of beauty are things of beauty. And the older they are, the more amazing it is that they even existed in the first place. You could build something as big as the pyramids anywhere you want. In fact, I think they've got one in Las Vegas. But that's not what people think of when they say the pyramids. They think of the ones that are 5,000 or 6,000 years old. And it's the same in Thailand and, in this area, we have temples and our ancient sites and even things that are stretched back into the 20th, recent 20th century, like, all these old cinemas we have. And particular concern of mine is all the communities along the river, which are in danger of being moved away for some short-sighted concrete monstrosity. So I've always been interested in history, but I've probably become more so in that, we don't have a lot of it, and what we have, we should try and keep. Just from an artistic point of view, I don't think you even justify it in any other way other than aesthetically.
Because in other places, even around Asia, their historical sites aren't as in good shape as ours. And it's such a shame that it's slowly deteriorating and we're not even taking care of it.
Yeah, it is a shame. And I think it's important because because the shared historical buildings or artifacts or art, that belongs to the nation. It's not just from one person to another. So, and in that sense, all Thai people own the river, own the temples, own our art and our heritage and our culture. It's something we share that doesn't cost any money for individuals to take part in. So, on every level, it's worth preserving. Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't progress and there shouldn't be modern buildings and there shouldn't be new technology and all that stuff is great, but that's going to happen anyway. That doesn't need any help. Capitalism moves things forward anyway. The market and technology and the internet, it's going to make new things happen anyway.
Right.
But what little we've got that is old and it's continuous, I think it helps for us to stay in touch with our roots collectively.
Now, last but not least, let's talk about your family. We're still on the topic of family, but a different generation now. You're known for your directness and you're a straight shooter. You tell it how it is and you don't sugarcoat things. And once you've said that, you never lie to your kids. You have 3 children.
Well, 2, but yeah, well, there's another kid that's kind of part of my mother-in-law's family that is, like a sister to them, I guess.
Right. So how old are they?
They're 6 and 3, and the little girl is 2.
So they must be asking a lot of questions now, right?
My oldest one asks a lot of questions.
Yeah.
The little one is mainly orders, that he gives me orders and demands of what he wants me to do, where he wants me to go, and which dinosaur I'm supposed to be or whatever. But yeah, the older kid asks a lot of questions.
Yeah. I have a nephew who is around 6 too.
Yeah.
And for a period of time, his favorite phrase was ทำไมอะ
Yeah,
ทำไม
sure.
อะ all the time. So
Yeah.
how would you answer some of the harder questions? Have these ever come up? Like, Dad, where did I come from?
Oh yeah, well, I would try and answer them, as in, well, you came out of your mother. I was there. I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about like, Dad, am I going to die? How would you answer something like that
Yeah,
to a
everybody
little
dies.
kid?
Everything dies.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell it how it is.
It's
it
not that disturbing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dad, who do you love more, me or Hunter?
Oh, I tell him I love both of you. Because also, when you tell, that's a complex thing when you talk about love, because love isn't really, it's not really like a feeling of like, it's not a feeling, it's a pattern of behavior. It's something you have to demonstrate. It's not just some feeling that you automatically have and like, oh, I love my kids. But if you don't spend any time with them, you clearly don't. Mm-hmm. So I don't worry about words like that too much. It's very easy for me to say, yeah, I love you both the same, because
it's all about the actions,
right? It's about what you do. So, and I guess you'll figure it out if I'm telling the truth or not by my actions.
What is the one quality of yours that you wish your kids inherit?
Suspicion.
Yeah? What about one quality of your wife that you wish they would inherit?
Enthusiasm.
Good combination.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for being here with us, and hopefully your tickets will sell really well, and our listeners will go out and buy your tickets.
Please do.
And break a leg at the concert.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. สวัสดีค่ะโบสาวิตรีนะคะ This is We Need To Talk Podcast Talk Show ภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับคนไทยที่ใช้ภาษาอังกฤษค่ะ Hi you guys, welcome to our show and thank you so much for listening. ตามธรรมเนียมของ We Need To Talk โบจะชวนเกสต์ของเราคุย3ประเด็นค่ะถ้าเป็นพี่แคทเนี่ยโบว่าเรื่องแรกที่ต้องชวนคุยด่วนมากที่สุดเลยคือเรื่องของความเป็นสาวนักบิดของพี่เขาค่ะทำไมโบถึงต้องรีบชวนคุยเรื่องนี้ถึงขนาดนั้นหรอคะเดี๋ยวคุณผู้ฟังก็จะได้ทราบค่ะเรื่องที่2 โบอยากชวนพี่แคทเดินทางย้อนเวลาไปหาช่วงที่คุณผู้ฟังหลายๆคนต้องอินไปด้วยสุดๆเลยค่ะนั่นก็คือยุค 90s ช่วงนั้นมีอะไรน่าสนใจมากมายเลยนะคะโดยเฉพาะในวงการบันเทิงของบ้านเราค่ะยังมีใครจำรายการคิดดี้แคทได้หรือเปล่าคะโอ้โหตอนนั้นเรียกว่าดังมากๆเลยนะคะและพี่แคทของเราในช่วงนั้นก็ดังมากๆเช่นกันค่ะจะมีอะไรในยุค 90s ที่พี่แคทประทับใจบ้างเดี๋ยวโบจะถามให้นะคะและเรื่องสุดท้ายในฐานะคนบันเทิงที่อยู่ในวงการมานานพี่แคทถือว่าเป็นคนหนึ่งที่ไม่เคยมีข่าวเสียหายเลยนะคะเขาดูแลตัวเองยังไงให้ยังมีความเป็นส่วนตัวในชีวิตได้ในขณะที่ต้องเป็นคนของประชาชนอยู่ด้วยเรื่องนี้เดี๋ยวโบจะชวนคุยละเอียดเลยค่ะรอฟังนะคะเอาละค่ะตอนนี้ได้เวลาเปลี่ยนโหมดเป็นภาษาอังกฤษกันแล้วพร้อมหรือยังคะ Ladies and gentlemen, it would be my pleasure to introduce our guest for this episode of We Need to Talk podcast. She acts, she sings, she dances, she's oh so sweet, and she's so strong. Let's meet her now. P. Catalia English ค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะพี่แคท
สวัสดีค่ะ Long time no see.
Long time no see. Okay, first let me tell our listeners how thankful, how appreciative I am for you to be here today right now because
I'm so happy.
you guys, our listeners, you guys can't see her right now, but let me tell you, our studio is on the 4th floor. So this woman has to walk up 4 flights
I'm used
of
to it.
stairs.
My house is 4 floors, so I'm used to it.
But you're under this condition and you're all bruised up. What happened?
Yeah, well, as not very many people know, I am into motorbikes. And I had a freak accident. Actually, I had it last week. The first time I had the accident was it was raining. And the road was slippery, so I skidded and I grazed my elbow. But that's all. But the second time round, which was 2 or 3 days later, the road that I'm always riding on, they just, out of the blue, they set up a checkpoint. And I didn't know that they put cones on the road. So I was riding behind a car and I was overtaking. So when I overtook the car, I just went straight into the cones. And I fell and I fractured a rib. And I bruised up my hip bone and my knees. And grazed my elbow in the same place as the 2 nights before.
And I saw your bruises.
They're scary, aren't
They're
they?
brutal. Oh my goodness. And you said you can't laugh too hard, right? Because your ribs.
It hurts.
And that's what I meant by I'm so appreciative for you to be here. And you know, you guys, I asked P-Cat, are you sure you want to come? Because like our office is like on the 4th floor. Are you sure you're going to be able to walk up here? And she's such a trooper. She said, of course I'll be there. Like I told you I'd be there. But we totally would understand. So thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome. I'm very happy to be here. I mean, I'm fine. I'm actually not in as much pain as I thought I was going to be because when I was in hospital, they injected me with morphine. They're like, you need it. I'm like, really? Do I? Okay. So I was injected with morphine and I fell asleep for about 3 hours. And I woke up and I actually took the bike back home and got my car. And I went to the emergency room and they got me to get x-rayed and all that. And they said, yeah, you fractured a rib. Okay. No wonder why it hurts. Okay.
I love how your first instinct was like to go home and get your car and not go straight directly to the hospital.
I was thinking, well, you know, I grazed my elbow. I'm in a little bit of pain, but that's all right. So, yeah, until my chest started hurting. I'm like, okay, I'm in a bit of pain. I better go check it out just in case I've done something more than just bruised myself. So, yeah, they gave me some morphine and I fell asleep for 3 hours. And I woke up and I said, okay, well, you know, I think I'm ready to go home. And they're like, no, the morphine lasts for about 8 hours. I'm like, no, I fell asleep while I was talking to them.
So, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. Because I actually sat up and started talking to the nurses. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm ready to go home. Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm fine. And they were laughing at me. I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay, maybe I need a little bit more sleep. So I fell asleep for another 3 hours.
Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't drive home.
I know.
Because that would have been bad.
Yeah, so, yeah, but they were really sweet. And I'm like, oh, you're in here again. Yep, it's me again.
So like you said, you know how a lot of people aren't aware that you like to drive the motorcycle.
I love riding bikes.
We're so used to seeing you as like this pop princess of the dance world, and just you and your 20-inch waist that everyone's jealous
23
about.
now.
Yeah, because 23 is so big. I would kill to have a 23-inch waist. But like people know you as this like fragile, like ผู้หญิงบอบบางน่ารักอะไรอย่างงี้
I'm pretty much a butch, actually.
What intrigues you about riding motorcycles?
I actually liked motorbikes ever since I was a teenager, but because my mum wouldn't let me ride, and she said, "Oh, you have to work, you have to look pretty, you cannot have scars and bruises and all that." Well, okay. And at this age now, I'm thinking, well, what do I have to lose? I mean, I want to have fun in life now, and I suppose I can say that I'm more responsible-ish. But I decided that, I'm going to get on a bike and I'm going to start riding. And it's so convenient, especially nowadays where the traffic is absolutely horrendous. I get around so easily. And if I say 15 minutes, it's 15 minutes. But if it's in the car, 15 minutes can be 3 hours.
Yep, that happened to me before.
Yeah, and, by กองถ่าย, going to the set, I got there on time and everybody else was like 2-3 hours late, and they're like, oh my God, I was stuck in traffic. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I went past all that traffic, and I'm like, yeah. It's so much easier to get around. And people that don't ride, they think straight away riding a bike is so dangerous. It is dangerous if you're not careful and if you're irresponsible about the way you ride. For me, I don't ride fast. Even if I was on a big bike, I wouldn't ride fast because it's being irresponsible, especially in traffic in Bangkok. You can weave through traffic and stuff like that, but you have to be very careful. You don't do that fast because you don't know what's going to come out from the sois or anything like that, or even in between cars. There's other motorbikes that are irresponsible.
Yep.
So you have to be responsible for all that too. So if I'm riding around, I'm always careful, especially in traffic, because if it's stuck, then there's a lot of motorbikes that are whizzing in and out of, weaving in and out of the cars and the traffic, and that's what you have to be careful of. You don't have to be careful of the cars that are parked on the roads.
Right.
So I mean, you have to look around. You have to be aware of your surroundings and not just be careful of the way you ride, but you have to predict what other people around you are going to do. Because there's a lot of cars that don't use their signaling lights.
That is so annoying. That's one of my pet peeves.
What's
people
that?
Not signaling.
Yep.
That happens to me all the time, and I almost run into someone just because they just came out without signaling. And that's so dangerous.
Even on a bike, I use my signaling lights all the time because I want the person behind me to know what I'm doing, or even in front of me who's coming in the opposite direction to know what I'm going to be doing. I don't want somebody to end up crashing into me because I'm not signaling. So use your lights. You have to.
You know how a lot of people, when we're younger, when we're learning to ride a bicycle, and when we fall, it makes us a little cringy to go near a bicycle again or to get back on it. Is it the same kind of feeling right now?
No, I want to get back on my bike already. I really do. The only thing that's making me sort of yang is I don't want to break the rib that I fractured. That's all that's keeping me off my bike. If I was just bruised, I'd get on my bike straight away.
Yeah.
But because it's dangerous, then okay, well, if I'm going to break a rib, then I'm going to have to be extra careful. So I'm back in my car again, back in the traffic. And a lot of people ask me, oh, so you're riding a big bike? No, I'm actually riding a scooter.
Aww.
Because it's so much easier to handle, especially in traffic. I mean, you're on a big bike. You have to keep squeezing the clutch. You have to keep changing gears, and it's heavy and it's big. Yeah, I can ride a big bike, but I don't because it's not practical in traffic.
Exactly. It's almost like riding a car because sometimes you can't really go through.
You can't weave.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, no, I'm riding my scooter. Like everyday use, I'd rather use a scooter. And also the good thing is that you can put things inside the seat.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you can
that is super practical.
I know. So you can put all of your stuff. If I go to shoot my lacons and stuff like that, I put my scripts, I put my clothes and my shoes. And, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's practical riding a scooter. And it has a little hook in the front as well that you can hang stuff on. So when I get my coffee and stuff, I hang my coffee on the front. So yeah, it's a lot more practical.
Yeah. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, you are this pop princess of Thailand, and I don't want to say I grew up watching you, but I grew up watching
a lot
and
of people
listening.
have grown up watching.
So we're gonna take a walk down the memory lane a little bit, because you're the queen of like the 90s.
Oh gosh,
Yes, I love the 90s.
So do I.
I miss the 90s.
80s
and
90s. Yeah, I miss that.
You got into the showbiz when you were 16, right?
13.
13?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what was your
13.
first gig?
The first thing I ever did, I was actually still wearing braces. Young Dad Fan Yu. Yeah. So I was an extra for a music video.ของพี่เจ
Aww.
กองไว้
Whoa.
Yeah. So that was a long time ago.
I'm sure our listeners are YouTubing that right now.
You won't. Well, I'm on for like 2 seconds. So yeah, keep a lookout where I am. I'm actually walking behind Pite, and it's just like see a winati, like oh my god, that's Cat.
It's like a fun game. Like, go. Where's Waldo?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was my first, and then after that, I did commercials, ads. Then I did my first movie, อันหนึ่งคิดถึงพอสังเขป ภาคแรก and that's when all the new kids came in. There was me, there was แอนทองผสม ตายสายทาน สายฟ้า แนนปางวลัย ไนท์ บอยสเกาต์
โอ้นี่คือตัวท็อปของ 90s นะคะ ตัวท็อปของ 90s
เขาดีอะแต่ไม่ได้เล่นหนังเรื่องนี้ but during that time it was like มีธัญญาคาเดียอาร์ตโมดbecause I was in a lakon with that was my first lakon คุณหญิงจอมแก่น
I watched that too, I think, when I was really young, but I remember that. What was the most vivid memory from back then for you?
I don't know.
Or the most memorable, I guess.
I can't really pick out one memory. There's so much that went on during that time. Yeah, just getting into the business, just being able to do what I love, and there's so many memories. I can't really pick one because everything is just so different and so meaningful.
So you've done it all.
Yep.
Acting, modeling, emceeing, singing, dancing. You're more than a triple threat. You're like
I've done everything but direct and produce.
Would you like to?
Directing, no, probably not. But I actually was interested at one point in being an acting coach on set. Because there's so much that I see and needs to be corrected. And there's nobody there to tell the actors or actresses what they can bring out in themselves to make the character more
believable.
Yeah, because sorry to say, but nowadays people get into the business so easily. Yep. And the quality has gone down quite a bit. I mean, nowadays there's a lot of actors that just come in, memorize their scripts, that's it. They're on set and they just say what they need to say, and there's no emotion, there's no character in the person that they're trying to play. And that's kind of, it's something that I saw, and I just I was itching to say something, but I was like, no, it's not my place to do anything. But I was interested in doing something like that, but
not directing. Because there's directing you do more than just acting.
You have to know
you have to know
see the
everything
full
else.
picture.
You're right.
Directing, and there's a lot of homework, and especially with my Thai. I'm not perfect in Thai, and it takes me ages to read scripts because I still read really, really slow. Yeah, so it's a lot of work if I wanted to direct. So producing maybe, but then again, there's a lot of work and there's a lot of homework. Yeah, a lot of preparation. And I really respect these people. When I'm on set and they know what they want, and they're like, okay, we want this. Oh, no, I don't like these clothes. I don't like this costume. Oh, she needs to change. I'm like, wow, it's so detailed.
So of all the things you've done, the things we just listed, which one would you say that you enjoy doing the most?
Acting and singing. These two come together for sure. For me, acting, I'm always looking for something to... maybe something I haven't done before, just to polish up my acting, that kind of thing. Something that's, what do you call, ท้าทาย
Like what type of role?
Dark.
Like โรคจิต อะไรอย่างเงี้ยป่ะ
Yeah, I really, really want to do something
Me
like
too.
that. Really?
Yeah, I totally want to do like the dark, like the
Yeah.
ลายลึกๆ
I know. I so want to do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, singing and dancing. MCing, not so much. I'm not really into that. These two, I think, are my favorites.
Speaking of emceeing
Oh gosh.
or hosting, one of the things that people remember about you, one of your earlier gigs, myself included, I watched, I think it was Saturday morning.
Yes,
right?
9 o'clock.
Yes. And strangely, I sort of remember the theme song. Kitty, kitty, cat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Or something like that. ต้นไม้ยังคุยกับเรา
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm a fan.
A lot of people come up
Yeah.
to me and say that, even now. And because they've grown up with me. I was 16 when I did that.
Yeah.
And I'm in my 40s now. So the kids are like 3, 4, 5 who came to the show or even watched it.
Yeah.
They're grown up now.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, I saw you when I was little. I was in you Anuban and I went to your show. I'm like, oh my God.
And they must be in their 30s now.
Yeah, exactly. And I went and did an interview. I did an interview for a magazine, and one of the girls walked up to me. She's like, yeah, I went to your show. I went to Kitty Cat. And she showed me a picture. She was 4.
Aww.
I'm like, oh my God. And we took pictures together. I'm like, oh, wow.
Before and after.
Yeah. And she wore a yellow shirt to the show, and she knew I was going to be doing interviews at the magazine. So she wore a yellow shirt.
Just to take a picture with you to do a before and after.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
I know. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Did you get a lot of fans from back then, from the Kitty Cat show?
Oh yes, definitely. Because a lot of the kids grew up watching the show, and there really hasn't been a show like that ever since. Which is a pity because we did so much on the show. We sang, we danced, we played games.
Yeah.
We brought families together to play games together.
Yeah.
We gave them knowledge, and educating them as well.
That was kind of like our Sesame Street, sort of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you said, there's not a lot of show that is like that.
No.
To this day. How did you get started on that? Did they just approach you and be like, hey, are you interested? Like, we are looking for a host, or did you have to like audition, or how did that come about?
That was pretty much it. They're like, oh, we saw you doing your lacons, and you seem to a lot of kids liked me and looked up to me, and the parents as well. I suppose it's also because of my my reputation and my background, my look. I don't know, but yeah, a lot of parents, I suppose, respected me as well. So we got together. Media of Medias approached me and they said, "Yeah, you know, we think you're a perfect role model to do a show like this, and you sing, you dance, and all that." I'm like, yeah, well, sure, okay, let's try it. We only did it for like 2 years. And I mean, there's so much that goes into the show. I mean, there was about 200 people that were on each show, and we had 2 shows a day that we had to tape. And yeah, expenses and all that stuff. It was a lot of work went into it, and in the end, it was difficult to carry on. So they decided to stop. And we were actually planning on bringing it back not long after that, but then nothing happened.
When you first found out that you were going to do this show, were you worried or were you excited? Are you naturally a kid lover?
Yeah, I love kids. But the only thing that was worrying me was being like the host, because if I don't have a script, I don't know what to say. I cannot ad-lib. I cannot... I'm not good at that at all. That's why I don't do MC work or anything like that. But yeah, I had Tiger and the rabbit and the tree.
The talking tree.
Yeah, ลงต้นไม้ I had other helpers that were, you know, who helped along. So to be honest, I wasn't comfortable in running the show alone. So yeah, with the helpers and stuff, I was okay. But yeah, but I mean, it was great to be with kids, and it was pretty difficult to handle kids that were running around. And I mean, of course, they get restless after a while. And even just half an hour, kids are just wanting to get up and run around. And so yeah, I'd always have to try and keep the kids at bay. And it was hectic, but it was fun.
What was your most favorite part about working with kids?
They're just so innocent and they're just so straightforward. They say what they feel. They say what, you know, if they want something, they'll say it. If they feel something, they'll say it. You know, they don't hide their feelings. They don't hide, you know, they're just so easy to read and so innocent. And so it's so funny what some kids say or what some kids do. They just do it because they're kids. And that was part of the fun of being with them.
And now, like we said, they're probably in their 30s.
Yeah.
If they're listening right now, what would you like to say to them?
I was so happy to be able to give to those kids and to be a part of, you know, a good memory of, you know, they still remember me through that, and they're still following me and still supporting me. Yeah, I mean, I have to thank all those kids who are probably now grown up, and some of them have their own kids now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's quite amazing. Yeah, thank you to all those kids who have now grown up for all their support and their love for so long.
So now the third thing, last but not least, that we're going to talk about is your private life.
Yeah.
The private life of Katrina English.
That's why it's called private.
There you go. There we go. So you are constantly working. We always see you in the media, and you never really went away or went
disappeared.
Yeah, exactly. You were always in the public eye, but at the same time, we feel like we don't know that much about you, especially in today's society with the media and with the social network and everything.
It's sometimes really ridiculous and sometimes very crazy. I don't go with that.
Yeah. So you would consider yourself a private person?
I am very private. I am, because I mean, you have to have balance. I mean, I don't use the media to promote myself because of my private life. I mean, you need to have balance. You need to have, what do you call, maybe I wouldn't call it a safe zone, but it's more of a comfort zone that you can fall back to and just get away from the craziness. Because I mean, being in the business, being in the spotlight, that's already crazy. People are always, oh, what's she wearing? Oh, what is she doing? Oh, who's she with? Oh, what's she... what is she eating? You know, I mean, I find that crazy. I mean, I don't have to tell everyone every second of my life, oh, I just woke up. Oh, I'm having breakfast. Oh, I'm going to go to the toilet. Oh, I'm going to, you know, I mean, really, I don't do that. And when I first opened up my Instagram, I put it on private because I just didn't want people to know about my private life. But then everyone was like, well, what's the point in having Instagram then? I'm like, oh.
It's like my personal diary.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay. So I opened it up to the public and people started following me. And then, you know, you can control it. It's not necessarily as scary. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm scared of opening up, but it's a part of me that I know that belongs to me, not to anybody else. And I don't want people to control my life because it's my life. Everyone was born alone and we will die alone. And I don't want to be a victim of society. I don't want to be that because I have one life just like everybody else. I want to live it the way I want to live it. And, you know, I respect people's privacy as I hope people respect mine. I don't go around saying, hey, what are you doing? Oh, who are you with? Oh, what? I really don't want to know because if you want to tell me, you will tell me. Just the same way. I mean, if I want to tell you, I will tell you. If I don't want to tell you, I don't tell you. And I don't see why, even if we're a celebrity, I work. I'm in the limelight. But once I'm done with work, I go back to my life. I go back to me. I'm not the character that I'm playing in a lacon. I'm not that singer that's all dressed up and on stage. I'm just me wearing a t-shirt and shorts at home without any makeup and watching TV, watching movies. That's me. I'm not a person who just gets up and gets dressed and gets all pretty and goes out and socializes. I'm not that kind of person. Going back to Instagram, I was posting stuff every day, but then that's not me. I don't feed off of that. So once I started to slow down and I started disappearing for like a week or so, my fans were like, are you okay? What happened to you? What's wrong with you? I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm still here. I just don't want to post anything because I don't feel like it. I mean, if I don't feel like saying anything, I don't. If I feel like saying something, I will. If I want to put a picture into my Instagram, I will. If I don't feel like doing it, then I don't. And now people are getting used to the fact that sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And I haven't disappeared. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm still around. But yeah, sometimes I'm just not in the mood to say anything. I just want to sit still. I just want to อยู่นิ่งๆ And that's me. I mean, I suppose I can say that I am an introvert. So it's not a bad thing, but you know, I don't socialize. I don't have many friends because I'm comfortable with the friends that I have, that I've had for so long. I mean, yeah, I get to meet new people, the people that I work with, and on set I'm fine. You know, I mingle with people, I get along with people very, very easily. But for them to really get close and know who I really am, I mean, it's not that I'm out there and I'm not really who I am. I am, but there's just a part of me that I'm not comfortable with opening up to everyone. You know, I mean, sometimes I can be silly. Not everybody sees the silly side of me. Thong side of me that not everybody gets to see. Most people do see that, but that's the way I am. And I think people are starting to get used to the who I am.
And they accept and they love you for that.
And the funny thing is, so many people that have just met me, even on the new set, Labaman, the Channel 7 that I'm shooting at the moment, it was so funny. Most of them I have not worked with. Tong, she knows me, so that's fine. But Virapap, Nong Priyo, Nong Bang, they've never met me before. And on the day of the fitting, I could hear them like, oh, they were laughing, they were joking, they were having fun and stuff like that. As soon as I walked into the room, everyone just went quiet. It was dead silent. I'm like, what's wrong? hello, people.
I've arrived.
And the thing is that I just walked into the room just being me, and I just walked in, and everybody just went quiet. I'm like, what?
เขาเขินเปล่า
No, they were scared of me. It was so funny because he came up to me because I started talking to them and I started like mingling with them and started having fun with them and talking to them and stuff. And he was like, oh, Bikat, thank you so much. I'm like, what? Thank you for talking to me. What? I was like, thank you for like breaking the ice because I was so scared of you. I'm like, why are you scared of me? He's like, you're not ดุมาก. I'm like, no. Why? ไม่ใช่ ไม่ได้ดุเลย And that's everybody's reaction before they actually get to know me. Everybody says the same thing. เจอหน้าพี่แคทหน้าดุมาก Like, this is my face. ไม่ได้ทำอะไรเลย This is me. Hello.
And you can't walk around like smiling all the time like
I know. I'm not a นางงาม or anything like that. No, you know. And it's so funny that people are like, oh, you're so friendly. I'm like, oh, yeah, of course. But yeah, everyone says the same thing. Even outside, you know, oh, พี่แคทดูหยิ่ง พี่แคทดูดุ No, it's just my face. My face.
I can't help it, guys.
I can't help it. I'm just like this. But yeah, when people come up to me and even fans and stuff, and they're like, oh, ขอถ่ายรูป Yeah, sure. Like, oh, พี่แคทดูหน้าแบบนิ่งมากเลยแต่แบบเวลายิ้มแล้วแบบ I was like, it's okay. You can come up to me. You can, you know, that's fine. So yeah, same reaction. Everybody's like, oh yeah, you look scary.
And you know, like, even though you said you look scary, but we don't really hear of like anyone disliking you at all. Like, you're very likable, and it's
Thank you.
You're one of the few people that people just never hate.
There are.
Really?
Oh yeah. Not many, which is lucky. But I mean, when people don't know me, they hear things from other people who don't know me or maybe caught me at a bad time. And I'm human. I have different feelings. I get angry. I get peed off. I get stressed out. I get sad. I get upset, just like everybody else. The thing is that not everybody sees me every day, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So maybe if just at that moment that I had a bad day or, you know, whatever, and they just caught me at a bad time, that's it. Oh, Bikat, I met her that day. Yeah, she's in such a bad mood. Hello.
You're only human.
I am human, and everyone has a bad day, gets into a bad mood. But that's not me 24/7. That's just a very minute part of my life. And immediately people start talking, and it keeps going on. You know, people talk to this person and they carry on and talk to this person, and there's a lot of misunderstanding. I mean, there's some people, oh, Kat, เวลาทำงาน oh, เรื่องเยอะเรื่องมาก I'm like, what? I'm like one of the easiest persons to work with. I admit I'm very detailed. I like asking questions because I want to clear what I have to do. That's my responsibility of being what I am. If I'm acting, I need to ask questions about the character. Why do I have to do this? Why is it like this? Why does she have to be like this? Not because I'm not going to do it. It's because
You need to understand the character better.
Yeah, exactly. To be able to get deep into this person, to know what this person is like.
Yeah.
Because I have to be that person. So I ask questions, and some people, oh, เรื่องเยอะจัง
I've worked with you, and I found it very easy to work with.
And
it was really fun. So you said you've worked in the business for 27 years.
Yep.
But we never really see any bad press about you.
There was once, but
out
that
of
was
20 out of 27 years. That's like really rare.
That was just some misunderstanding. Yeah, it was pretty bad time during that time, and the whole press were like blacklisted me, and they're like, no, we're not going to talk to her ever again.
Oh, well, what happened? Can you? I mean, are you comfortable talking about it?
Yeah. I mean, it's all cleared up, and you know, I mean, I'm fine with meeting the press and the reporters and stuff. In fact, I have fun talking to them. but there was one time when I was doing a charity concert with Pimod, and we did the press conference in the middle of Siam, and it was hot. And I had 3 jobs, and the last job was live, so I had to get to the last job on time. And the first job was running late. And I asked them, I was like, okay, after the interview on stage, do I need to interview with the reporters and the press that come? They're like, no, you can go straight off. Okay, fine. So after we did the press conference and all that, they're like, okay, Picat, you can go. I'm like, okay. And just as I was, getting off stage, like, Picat, the press want to talk to you. Okay, is it going to be long? Because I have to go. Like, no, 10 minutes. Okay, I'll go on and just sort of pat my nose and, wipe all the sweat off my forehead and stuff, and I'll come back out. P. Mars went down
immediately
first to do the interviews. So I was like, okay, well, P. Mars, you go first and I'll catch up with you. So I went backstage, Sapna, whatever. And I went down to where P. Mars was, and I stood there for 20 minutes doing absolutely nothing. And I was like, I have to go. And my assistant was with me, and she's like, we have to go. I'm like, you need to tell the team that we need to go. And we were sort of like, hey, you want to interview Kat or not? Come on, it's been 20 minutes. And I was getting bombarded by fans taking pictures and stuff like that. And I was waiting to get interviewed. And they never did. So I had to go. So I left. And we told the team, the PR team for this event, like, we got to go. We have to go. So they're okay, we'll tell them. So I left. And I went to my second job, and then I went to the third. And when I went to the third, Grammy called me up. And they're like, what the hell did you do? Like, what did I do? And they're like, all the press are banning you and blacklisting you. I'm like, why? I was like, you said that you weren't giving interviews. Like, I never said that. When did I say that I'm not going to give an interview? I was standing there for 20 minutes and nobody took any notice of me. And I had to go. So what happened? It's not my fault, because I told the team to tell the press that I had to go. And it was a huge misunderstanding. All the press are like, oh, Kat said she's not giving interviews. And I was like, 27 years that I've been in the business, I have never said I will not give an interview. If I didn't have time, I'll just say, hey, I'm sorry, I don't have time today, but the next time we meet up, I'll give you an interview. I have never said I will not give an interview. Never have I said that. So I was really upset because so many people have known me, especially the press. They've known me ever since I came into the business. They know what kind of person I am. And what upset me the most was that just that one misunderstanding, and it just became such a huge thing. And I was really hurt, to be honest. I was so hurt that, they'd turn around and do this to me. And I met them at a friend's wedding, the press. And they was like, กล้ามาด้วยเหรอ
โอ้โห
Yeah.
แรง
I'm like, whoa.
Why?
I was like, after what you did, I was like, I didn't do anything. And they was like, you didn't even apologize. I was like, apologize for what? I didn't do anything wrong. If I did something wrong, I would apologize. I'm man enough to do that. But if I didn't do anything wrong and I apologize, then I'm apologizing for something that I did wrong. So no, I'm not apologizing because I didn't do anything wrong. But I'm ขอโทษแทนคนที่ทำให้เข้าใจผิดกันละกัน But I'm not apologizing for myself.
How did you resolve that then?
I spoke to them. I talked to them right there, and I was like, it's a huge misunderstanding, and take it the way you want it. I cannot stop you from the way you want to feel or the way you want to look at it, but this is how it was. And I have nothing to hide. And after that, everything was fine. And, I still met up with them. I see them at events and stuff, and I still interview with them. I don't have anything against them. I have fun having interviews. I mean, I get to say what I need to say, or if anything needs to be cleared, I can clear it. So I mean, it's fun.
Now we talk about you being a private person. Nowadays, I think there's a lot of not even just nowadays. I think in Thailand in general, there's a lot of pressure on girls, on women, on having to have a relationship or to be in a relationship. Every time you see a relative or every time you see someone, the first question is like, oh, มีแฟนหรือยังทำไมยังไม่มีแฟน like, oh, what's wrong with you?
Because I don't.
Yeah. Okay. How would you exactly that's my like that was like the top question when I was single. Everyone was like ทำไมไม่มีแฟน
Because
like,
I
don't want to. I'm
exactly.
Like, it's my choice.
Exactly.
And
what's wrong with that?
And I was happy with that, and I'm sure a lot of girls are happy being single or either or they want to keep their private life private. Do you have any advice to them on how they can handle a situation like that?
Don't be a victim of society. Don't be. It's your choice. If you want to have a boyfriend, if you want to have a relationship, it's when you're ready. Not when everybody else is ready for you to have a relationship. If you're in a relationship and you're happy and you're ready for it and you're happy, be in a relationship. But if a relationship isn't working out, I don't see why people have to stick their noses into it. It's between two people. Seriously, because people are so reliant on what other people have to say. Relationships become public. Relationships become social, it's not two people anymore. It's 3, it's 4, it's 10, it's 50, it's 100, it's 1,000, it's 1,000,000 people. Why does it have to be that way? It's not. You don't have a relationship because of what other people think. What's wrong as well is that so many people have their own ความคิดเห็นอะ
opinion.
They have their own opinion of saying what they want to say about this person, and sometimes they don't give good advice, sometimes they do, and it's up to you what you want to do. If you want to take their advice or not, you have to be strong enough to have your own opinion. You have to be strong enough to see, if you're in a relationship, you have to be strong enough to see who that person you're with is like, not what other people think you're with. And that's the problem with social media as well and stuff like that. It gets out of hand. People start saying things about maybe the person you're in a relationship with, and maybe it's not true, maybe it is, but you have toพิสูจน์ with yourself, because that's the person that you're with. And if you're not in a relationship, don't get pressured. If you're not ready, you're not ready. You don't have to be in a relationship because society tells you to. As I said, don't be a victim of society. Don't be a victim of social media. It's your life. You control your own life. If you're not bothering anyone, ทำให้คนอื่นเดือดร้อน don't be a victim. Be yourself. Live your own life, because you only have one life. ซีเรียสไปเปล่า
ไม่เลย that was a good answer. All right, now our next section is called What's Your Take On? I'm going to give you 3 topics and you choose one to discuss, maybe like in 5 minutes or something like that. Our first topic is on students' uniform. เราควรเลิกบังคับให้นักเรียนใส่เครื่องแบบหรือไม่ Second topic is on Thai ละครไทยน้ำเน่าจริงหรือ And the third
Yep. Anyways, move on.
Third topic is cashless society สังคมไทยไร้เงินสดดีไหมชอบไหม Which one would you like to discuss?
Oh my gosh. They're all pretty good to discuss. ละครน้ำเน่าก็ได้
All right. Oh, you're being risky because it's your job too.
I know. No, but you know what? Going straight to the point, yeah, it is, because the stories are pretty much the same. You have the นางเอก you have the ตัวร้าย you have the พระเอก and the ตัวร้าย is always going to come in between the นางเอก and the พระเอก and they're going to fight and they're going to misunderstand each other, and the ตัวร้าย does all this and that, and then all of a sudden they ตัวร้ายก็หายไป whatever, and then นางเอกกับพระเอก they have a happy ending จบ
It's the same formula like we said earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Either they're like ตัวร้ายต้องเป็นบ้าตัวร้ายหรือต้องแบบหายไปอยู่ตัวตายหรือต้องมีอะไรแบบ tragic happens to the ตัวร้าย
Exactly. It's the same format. And to be honest, it actually runs on real life. It's dramatic. It's just society feeds off it. Lacons feed off of society.
It's a loop.
It's double-edged. Yeah, so it's, to be honest, Thai people are so artistic. They have great imagination. They have great potential. But they don't get to use it because of what? Because same formula, same thing. Thai people don't like taking risks. There's so much more that Thai society can get, can learn from movies, from lacons. I don't want to say that, ไม่อยากเปรียบเทียบอะ like in the States or in England, you have such a huge variety of lacons, TV series, movies, because they like taking risks and they like doing things that are new and they like bringing new things into society. And I suppose in a way they're ready to accept it. In Thailand, I suppose society like to be in their comfort zone. They like this, so they will stick with that because it's safe. But I mean, these artistic people, these people who have imagination, these people who have so much potential, but they don't get to use it. It's such a pity. And I feel that they should have the opportunity to show themselves. And there's so many movies, so many TV series that we watch that are from abroad. Even in Asian countries nearby, like even in India, we watch Indian movies. We watch Indian soaps. We watch Indian series. But do other people watch Thai soaps, Thai movies? Thai movies, yeah, because, I mean, they've become international. They've taken risks. They're doing something that's outside the comfort zone of Thai society. And some of the movies have become international.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that for Thai soaps and, lacons and stuff like that? We can. But nobody's taking the risk, and it's a pity. And, I mean, not saying that I'm against it or anything, but I mean, I'm fine with doing the lacons that I do. That's fine. It's easy as well. I mean, okay, Catalan bot movie. Okay, yeah, I know that. Okay, I can do that. That's easy. And in a way, if people were more risky, were more, doing something outside their comfort zones, it's also good for actors. เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองด้วย
So they're not being repetitive.
Yeah, with
on their
acting.
roles.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's. But then again, it all comes down to Thai culture, Thai society, how much they're going to accept it, or how much, they're like, oh, this is like way too ล้ำไป oh ไม่ได้ไม่รู้เรื่อง or whatever. That's what's a pity, because I mean, there's so many great Thai producers, writers, artists that can go so far, but they're not reaching their potential because of the limits here.
So our last section of the show is called What If, which is your chance to become Miss Universe.
Oh my gosh, okay.
We have a jar of questions, and these are hypothetical questions, okay?
Oh God.
You're gonna draw one out and then answer it.
Oh golly. Okay.
Are you ready, Miss Thailand?
Okay. I'm dreading this. Okay.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Oh.
If you were given 100 million baht, no strings attached, how would you use it?
I would buy a boat. I'd buy a yacht. I'd buy a hotel. I'd buy an airplane. No, I wouldn't. No, if I had 100 million baht, oh my gosh, I wouldn't go like binge spending on shopping and all that stuff. I would probably still live my life the way I am. Because, I mean, who knows when you really need the money. I'd probably buy a little bit more stuff for myself, but and help out with my family. I'd definitely give it to charity. I mean, there's so many people who need help. I'd still be careful on spending. I wouldn't think that, 100 million baht, oh my gosh, it will take me a lifetime to spend. No. I would still be careful with my spending. I mean, you never know when it's not going to be there.
Okay. Yay. Thank you so much for being here
You're
today,
very welcome.
especially under your condition.
I'm fine.
And hopefully you're completely healed soon.
Soon, yes. I hope so.
No more
too.
bruises. Hopefully you can fully laugh once again.
I know it hurts when I'm laughing, but it's so much fun. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay. สนุกดีไหมคะ สวัสดีค่ะโบสาวิตรีนะคะ This is We Need To Talk Podcast Talk Show ภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับคนไทยที่ใช้ภาษาอังกฤษค่ะ Hi you guys, welcome to our show and thank you so much for listening ตามธรรมเนียมของ We Need To Talk โดยปกติแล้วเนี่ยโบจะเป็นคนบอกคุณผู้ฟังว่าเราจะคุยกับ guest ของเราเรื่องอะไรบ้างใช่ไหมคะแต่วันนี้พิเศษสุดๆค่ะเพราะ guest ของเราในเอพิโซดนี้ได้มาจากการแนะนำของ guest คนหนึ่งที่เคยมาคุยกับโบในรายการมาแล้วค่ะนั่นก็คือผู้หญิงคนนี้นี่เองพี่ Mariam Gray สวัสดีค่ะพี่มาเรียม
สวัสดีค่ะ
It's so nice to have you back here with us
It's great to be back
I heard you brought a friend today
I did if you call him a friend yeah
So who is this person this stranger that you don't know
well he's a friend of mine he's lovely he's a good driver and that's all I could say about him more than that would be like too much too painful
So what are the three things we need to talk to him about?
First thing all things British He's British. Our girls love the little British accent.
Yes.
He grew up in the UK. Therefore, I think he could tell us about his life growing up in Britain. Yeah.
Second,
his artistic talent. He got some talent, this guy. I saw him act and that wasn't one of them. But he does have talent. Like, he could draw really well. He's such a good artist. Like, sculptures and stuff. You do good things like graphic design and paintings.
Your face?
My face. He face paint me when we go watch movies. Like Star Wars, he'll paint me into Dartmoor. And we went to see X-Men and he paints my face as Mystique. And I had to go in the cinema with my blue face. Yeah. And I had to like sit and eat with him
At food court?
at the food court at M Quartier at Dartmoor with my red face, and people walk past and they were like, "Oh my god!" And then I was just like, "Just Star Wars fanatic, nothing more." It was So it's hard being friends with him. Sometimes you get abused like that, but it's okay. You know, I just think of myself as the medium for his art. No, I don't. And he carries his face paint around in his bag.
you do?
He does.
In my car, yeah.
In his car, everywhere. Like, just whenever he has the opportunity, if I say yes, he would paint my face. You could too if you want to try. He has it in his car.
We're gonna have to talk about this then, for sure.
So yeah, that's one of his talents. Yep.
I'm gonna walk out of this building like with my face painted today.
He want to try Yoda right now. Like he's been studying on YouTube of like how to paint Yoda face.
And the last thing that we're gonna talk to him about today?
Yep. The last thing we're going to talk about today with him would be traveling. He travels a lot. I'd never gone with him for a reason, for a very good reason.
Why?
First of all, I like traveling by myself. Second of all, when he travels, it's all very well planned out, including costumes. I'm just like, I'm not gonna wear what you all wearing. No, so
Like synchronized. Like the whole group.
Pretty much. Color theme, denim colors, or sometimes it's all like the same, exactly the same in like a whole big group. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing that. That's not cool.
โอ้โหปรากฏว่าวันนี้เราเข้าสู่โหมด2ภาษากันตั้งแต่ต้นรายการทีเดียวเลยนะคะ So you guys ready or not? Here we go. พี่มาเรียมคะ Would you do the honor?
Ladies and gentlemen, It would be my pleasure to introduce the guest for this episode of We Need to Talk podcast. He's a model, an actor, an artist, and a good friend of mine, Kieran Simon Young.
Hello พี่คิริน
Hello
โอ้โหเพื่อนเผาไปเยอะนะคะ you are you sure you guys are friends
I thought we were, but I'm not sure.
The first segment of our show is called Been There, Done That.
Okay.
And I've heard that you spent the first 18 years of your life growing up in the UK.
Yeah.
And I'm sure one of the first things our listeners will notice about you on this cast is not your face, obviously, because they can't see you.
No.
But they're going to notice your British accent.
Yeah.
That was terrible, by the way.
It was all right. It was all right. Yeah.
Are you sick of people telling you like, oh my God, I love your accent. Oh my God, your accent is so sexy. Or like, how posh. Oh my God. Do people say that to you a lot?
Before they actually have spoken to me properly, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what happens after?
And then it's like, oh God, get away from me.
So take us back into the time machine and go back when you were living in the UK.
Okay.
What was the most vivid memory about your childhood? Where in the UK did you live?
Grew up in Cambridge, which is like a small city about an hour away from London. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How was it growing up
Yeah,
there?
it's nice. It's a small, really pretty city, but it's really small,
Yeah.
and then it's not very lively. So it's a nice place for old people. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you like it? I mean, as a younger person, not an older person.
It was
obviously.
safe, like back in the day. Mm-hmm. It was all right.
What about school? You went to school there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What would your classmates describe you if I were to call them up today and be like, describes Kieran?
Oh God.
What would they say?
Happy, crazy, and a bit of a plonker. Yeah,
A plunker.
yeah. A nice way of saying.
Oh, you could curse on this on this podcast.
Okay,
There's
yeah.
no ratings.
Okay, all right. So a bit of a dick. Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Oh my God. Okay, we might need to put a rating on this. I'm just kidding. No, our guests curse all the time. It's okay.
Yeah.
What was your most favorite thing about living there?
Because it's quite small.
Yeah.
Just being able to like cycle around and go and see friends whenever I wanted, and it's quiet, so it's safe. So mum and dad would let me go wherever and whatever. So it was nice just having freedom to go around. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You were brought up in England, so I hope you could either confirm or debunk all these British stereotypes that we hear about so much.
Ooh.
Yes. It's probably questions that you might have heard before too. And
Okay.
it's probably people are like, oh, British people? They must be like puddy, like, are they really puddy or they're overly polite and proper? I heard they apologize a lot too.
Puddy. I've heard it a lot, but I wouldn't class myself as a puddy at all. Polite? Yeah, with people I like just met, I have to be. You have to be polite, don't you? But when it's for people like Mariam, don't really need to be polite, do you?
No wonder she was like, no, not him. She was mouthing this to me, no, not him.
And apologetic. Quite apologetic. When I'm playing badminton, it's like, oh, sorry, right, oh, sorry, yeah. But that's when I like smash it in people's faces. It's like, oh, sorry. Yeah.
Are you sure you're sorry? Sorry, but not sorry.
It's like you're saying it, but you don't actually feel it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. The next one, are some of them snobby?
Snobby. Oh, yeah. Like, I can be snobby as well. Like, well, it just depends on how you're feeling it. And if you're having a bad day and you see somebody who's like,
Yeah.
so you can come across as snobby. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the accent just builds on it as well.
Yeah, because it seems so posh,
Yeah,
right?
it's
You're
like, ooh. Yeah.
with the British accent, you almost have to like speak it looking down.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like
I could try doing it, looking up. It doesn't feel natural. No. Yeah. You
yeah,
have to do
see,
that.
it looks more natural too. Next, it's are they super sarcastic?
No. Not at all.
Oh, good one.
Yes. Very, very. Like, I don't think there's ever been a day that I haven't said something sarcastic. So, yeah.
Okay. Are they really the masters of understatement? Like if they lose an arm, are they going to be like, oh, like if someone loses an arm, they're like, oh, how are you feeling? They'll probably respond like, oh, stinks a bit. You know, it's like the character and their humor, you know?
Yeah, there's like a dryness, like a dry humor. Yeah, I think it's more of a joke than an understatement and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
This one, you probably heard this one a lot. Do they say bloody or bloody hell a lot?
I do. So probably. So
what's the equivalent to American English for bloody? Is it like the F word? Is it that strong, or is
it's
it
not
like
that strong.
like damn? Like
probably,
is it like,
yeah, like damn. Yeah. Is it?
or in between?
Because there was an Australian traveling ad that was banned in America because it's a normal word for us in Australia as well. And it was like people at the beach and stuff, and then this blonde girl ran out, I think. I can't remember the ad very well. Ran out and go, where the bloody hell are ya? And American freaked out.
Yeah, because coming from America, I think when I hear the word bloody, I'm like, oh, it sounds very strong. It sounds strong. Like, but I that's why I think, it's good for you to like debunk
it's
this.
not
right?
that strong. It's like, oh, bloody hell. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, damn.
Yeah.
Do they drink a lot of tea?
Well, I'm not a big tea drinker myself, but all my friends, whenever they come over, they're like, oh, should we have a cup of tea? And they love having a cup of tea. It's just like, instead of, I don't know, some juice. Yeah.
I drink a lot of tea and
coffee.
I'm not British.
Huh?
I
Well,
think-
you should
yeah,
be British then. Yeah.
Right? Should I work on my accent? I can't. I sound.
You try doing the interview all in a British accent.
Oh my God! Yes. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Have I even doing it right?
Yeah. Keep going.
So I've heard that they drink a lot of beer. I mean, after all, the pub culture was from the UK. I think our listeners are probably like, I'm turning this off.
No, that was all right. That was pretty good. Yeah. Beer.
Yeah.
Yes. When I lived in England, I did drink a lot of beer. It's not just beer, though. It's like the pub culture, like drinking in daytime and like going to the pub for lunch and stuff.
Yeah, because apparently ผับอังกฤษก็คือต้นฉบับของโลกเลย
Yeah.
Are they absolutely keen on queuing?
Oh, I love to queue. Like in 7-Eleven, sometimes.
I do too, though.
Yeah, it's good, but then you see other people who are not queuing, and it's like, oh my God, do you not understand the concept of queuing?
Thank you. That's exactly how I feel. I think it's an American thing too.
No, I think it's just a normal thing.
Yeah. Except it's not a Thai thing.
No, it's not at all. It's like you're queuing, and there's like 3 people in the queue, and then somebody comes in, and they're like going straight to the other cashier.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I've noticed in Thailand, it's getting better.
Yeah, it is.
I think like 10 years ago, when I first moved back from the States, I was like, what is going on? Like in the bathroom, people are just like not queuing at all. But now I think they're getting better at it.
Yeah.
So, yay.
Yeah.
Are they absolutely obsessed with football?
Oh.
Like soccer? Oh, football.
It's football. It's not soccer. It's really not. Yeah. I think it depends on where you live. Lots of people, they do support teams of where they're not from, but there are a lot of people who support the teams that they live in that city.
Do you support any team?
Cambridge, have you ever heard of them?
Is there a team?
There are 2 teams.
What?
Yeah, Cambridge United and Cambridge City.
Never heard of them.
Yeah. That's how good they are.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is the English food...
No, I love British food.
You love food.
So is the English food not the best for you? Like apparently you love it, right?
I
Mary?
love it. I love the Sunday roast. Oh, is that more Aussie thing?
No. Sunday roast is English.
I love Sunday roast. I love meat pies. I love fish and chips.
Yeah, I love fish
Okay.
and chips.
Oh God. Yeah, but they're really heavy.
I love
It's not
them.
like you can have them every single day though.
I could.
Oh God. I prefer Thai food. Yeah. It's a lot healthier and nicer.
What's your favorite Thai food?
Everything. ผัดต้มข่าไก่ or ผัดสตอ
What? You know how to eat that?
Yeah, I love it.
That's my favorite too. Yeah.
And น้ำพริกกะปิ stuff like that. Yeah.
Dang!
Yeah.
Good job. Assimilating.
Oh, Mark. His only British thing is his accent. The
Yeah.
rest is like, you're just fake. Phony British.
All right, last section for this segment. Do you miss the UK and would you someday go back and live there?
I do miss it. I miss things about it, but I love living in Thailand. So I wouldn't move back, but I do like to go back and visit.
So do you go back often
About once a year.
to Cambridge?
Yes.
Ah, nice. All right.
All right.
Sounds Irish.
That wasn't British. All right.
I was doing like Spanish. I don't even know why. All right. I don't even know anymore. Like she said earlier, you're a pretty good artist and you like to draw and paint, preferably people's faces. When did you first know that you like to draw and paint? I mean, did you do other types of painting?
Yeah, like watercolor, acrylic, oil, whatever really. Yeah. I started to like painting and drawing when I was like 5. And my dad was an art teacher, so he would sit me down, like force me to learn perspective and like form and stuff. And it wasn't fun
At
back
the age
then.
of 5?
Like from a young age and then growing
Dang.
up, and it was like, this is 2-point perspective. This is real. Yeah. So it sunk in, and I'd have to sit in front of this drawing board that he was like, jing jang maka. So it wasn't fun, but I liked it. So, and I improved from what he was doing. So
What type of work do you do?
graphics, like computer, sometimes animation, like logos, editing photos. Can't remember really.
The face painting thing, how did that come about?
Oh, that was just to tease friends.
That's it?
Just for fun.
And I want to see pictures. Are they actually good?
No, the face paints aren't, but the
Yeah.
actual paintings
Yeah.
aren't bad.
The actual paintings are good.
Yeah.
But the face paint was bad because we didn't have. It's the first 2 times we didn't have the right types of paints.
I mean, it was just like really thick pastel kind of things, and it's just like, just make her face as mucky as possible.
It was heavy and it felt like lipstick on my face. It was gross. I'll find a photo while you talk.
Yes.
Great.
What type of paint did you use? On her
Depends.
face?
Oh, on her face.
Yeah. I'm so curious about this.
I can't remember. I think it's like children's, like, there's no chemicals, like chemical free.
Like
so it's
watercolor
yeah.
type of.
But it's like pastel, silky pastels that you can just draw on her face.
Oh, okay.
I just enjoyed making her look silly. It actually started because I used to play games with friends, like whoever lost would get drawn on their face. So we would write rude words and stuff on each other's faces.
Yeah.
And then it would just be funny looking at their faces. And then I used these to paint art on her face.
So I've heard that you recently drew the line stickers
Ah, yeah.
for P. Hugo, who was one of our guests.
Ah,
And P. DJ, P. Pe, Wisawa, and DJ Put.
yeah.
How did that happen?
They know what I do for like graphics and stuff. So they were like, can you draw me some stickers? Yeah.
How long does it take you to make
It
one
took-
set of stickers?
Quite a while. Because to start with, you had to think of what stickers they wanted and have some other options just in case the ones that they selected didn't work, and also other options because Line didn't accept all of them. Like some of them had, they were a bit rude or a bit abusive. So, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it took quite a long time.
I want to see those versions.
There are some that I remember Philek was like, the world is not ready to see that.
What was it? Can you say?
I can't say.
Okay, don't.
Yeah. It was funny though.
Last but not least, let's talk about one thing I heard you like, which is like P. Mariam introduced traveling.
Ah, yes.
How many countries have you been to, and what are some of your favorite places?
Oh God.
Do you keep track?
No, not really. And my memory's not very good, but
Roughly.
Italy, I love.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember anything else. Barcelona in Spain is really nice. I like arty places like with history and culture that is like the Vatican in Rome. Just all the art around is like, whoa.
What type of a traveler are you? Are you a backpacker? Are you a shopper? I mean, we know that you like to coordinate outfits, but
Oh God.
like, do you like to do adventurous stuff, or like, you know, the type of traveler who go zip lining or bungee jumping, or are you like the lazy type who just lays by the hammock and do nothing? I'm that type of traveler.
I think I'm in between because I do like to go like walking around a lot, but not with a backpack. Yeah. So it's like in between, not that lazy, but not that adventurous, and definitely not bungee jumping or skydiving because I would shit a brick because I'm scared of heights. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like I think on TV it looks like, oh, I could do it, but then I feel like when I'm there, I think I would.
Have
like
you done
I would
it?
no.
Oh.
No, I love my life too much. I want to live.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a bad trip?
Never a bad trip, but some bad experiences within the trips. Yeah. Like booking rooms that when you got to the hotel, they tried to say, oh, we don't have that room that you booked, but we've got this one here, and then you have to go to another hotel to have another room. So it's like, oh, well, we didn't book that. So having to like kind of fight with people
Yeah.
to get what.
Did you
we
get
wanted.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, good job.
Yeah. when I go ding dong, it's like, oh.
Scary British.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just kidding. What is your ultimate dream destination?
Maybe somewhere in America or Canada. I've never been to that side.
Never?
Never.
Where in the US or Canada? Like what city or what state would you like to go to?
I've been told that New York is really nice because she goes every year. Canada, just from seeing things and like researching, it just looks amazingly beautiful.
Yeah.
Where else? I have no idea. Grand Canyon. I want to go and see that.
Oh, it's pretty.
Yeah.
But don't go during the summer.
It's lots of
Because it's
people.
really hot. It's really hot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But speaking of Canada, my parents are actually going to, well, by the time this airs, they just went.
Oh, okay. They go. They just went.
Yeah. Speaking of Canada, my parents just went to on a cruise. They started in Seattle in the States, and then they went to Canada and then all the way to Alaska. And they
Alaska as
enjoyed
well,
it. Yeah. So maybe you can take that cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, they enjoyed it.
It's like you're recommending me your parents' cruise.
And they
Okay.
really enjoyed it.
Thanks. Oh yeah.
Coordinate your clothes.
No, I should have gone with them.
Oh, you should have gone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine her parents and then you just there the whole time with them wearing the same clothes.
Wearing coordinated outfits.
Matching clothes with mum and dad. Hi. Mum and dad, can I paint your face, please?
Don't you dare. I need to catch a breath. I can't stop laughing.
You
All
might
right.
have time to say something smart.
Oh
Oh,
God.
here's your chance because our
Okay.
next section is called "What's Your Take On?" and I'm gonna give you 3 topics to choose from.
Okay.
I mean, looking at these, they're probably not the most like they're not too serious. So, I mean, you don't have to be like. I just can't.
Oh God.
I'm going to recommend people listen to this and go back to listen to Pilex Hugo's.
Oh God. It's 2 different types of British people.
So different, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, you're unique.
I'm unique. Yeah.
No, I mean like.
That's such a compliment. Yeah.
I meant like every person is unique in their
Yeah.
own way.
Yes,
Hello.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm quirky and I own it.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Boom.
Boom. So yes, back to what's your take on? I'm gonna give you 3 topics
Okay.
to choose from, and we're gonna discuss it.
Okay.
You're gonna pick one. Okay.
Okay.
The first topic, of course, you're British, so all these 3 things are gonna be Britain related.
Okay.
The first one is on the Beatles.
Ah, the Beatles.
The second one, oh, should I do it in
Yeah,
British
try
accent?
it. Do it. Yes.
The second one is on Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry Potter.
The third is on David Beckham.
David Beckham.
Yes.
Okay.
So movie, music, book, or movie or sport.
Oh. Does it have okay? If it's like that, David Beckham is good.
Okay. It doesn't have to be สาระและสาระได้เลยค่ะตามสบายเลยค่ะ
Yeah, David Beckham, because I have a relatable story to him.
Ooh, I want to hear it. What is it?
When I was in like year 8, which is like, oh, how old is that?
That's like 7th grade, right? Year 8, it's like 7th grade in the US. I think it's like
Like 13, 14?
13, yeah.
Something like that. So I decided like, oh, I'm going to bleach my hair. So my brother like helped me. He bleached just the top half of my head.
Oh my god.
And it was at the time when curtains were in, you know, like
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
God.
แสกกลางแบกม่าน
yes, curtains. So I bleached my hair, went to school the next day, and it was the day that David Beckham had just bleached his hair.
Oh.
So it was like, I looked like a big David Beckham fanatic.
On the same day.
Yeah, not only did I look really bad, it was like, oh my God, I just copied David Beckham. Great. Yeah.
He was huge in England.
Yeah, he
too,
was.
right?
He was.
Yeah.
So I did look like a freak for like the next few months. Yeah.
You didn't even dye it back or anything. You
No,
just let
no,
it
I just
grow
waited
out.
to cut it off. Yeah.
Did people put 2 and 2 together? Like, oh my god, you're trying to be
Yeah.
David.
But I wasn't.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, but they thought that. So it was like, as much as I would say, no, I'm not, they're like, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Our last section is called This is the Chance Where You Shine, my dear.
Okay.
You can be
Let's go for
as
it.
intellectual as you want.
Oh, great.
This is where it counts. I'm just kidding. It's called What If.
Okay.
So in this jar, assisted by Miss Miriam over here,
Thank you.
are these hypothetical questions that you're going to pick one from the jar and we will discuss it. Are you ready?
Yeah. Born ready.
Oh, yeah. If you could learn any one skill in the world without trying, like, you know, in the metrics, which would you pick?
Ooh. Any one skill.
Yes. Like, you just pop, snap, and then you got it.
Being able to talk like a normal person, maybe. Like, being able to like present myself well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that would help a lot.
No, but I think we like you, like, for your quirkiness. So, like, I definitely appreciate it. I think we all could use a smile on our faces.
That's why
And
he
it's
doesn't talk much
Yeah, no.
outside.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I come across quite dicky. It was like,
Well, I'm glad you are talking with us. Because I mean,
You're lucky.
oh my God, I'm so blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, though. Seriously, I'm so glad our listeners get to know this side of you.
Yeah, great.
And hear you talk. Because I mean, like other people, I think just seeing you, I like you look totally like the serious type,
Yeah,
and like
yin.
you know what I mean. Yeah, and like you're totally personable. So, thank you for being here,
Been a pleasure.
and thank you, P. Miriam, for bringing him. Oh, it was
Thank
such
you
a
for having
blast.
me.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
โอ้ยจะตาย
Oh God.
ปวดล้อปวดกรามไปหมดแล้วค่ะ
Like zero สาระ
สวัสดีค่ะโบสาวิตรีนะคะ This is We Need To Talk Podcast Talk Show ภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับคนไทยที่ใช้ภาษาอังกฤษค่ะ Hi you guys, welcome back to our show. Thank you so much for listening. เกสของเราในวันนี้ค่ะเป็นหนึ่งในอนาคตของการเมืองไทยที่เราต้องจับตามองนะคะน้องไอติมภริษวัชรศิลป์ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะสวัสดีครับ Hello, welcome. It's so nice to have you here and I've heard a lot about you as I'm sure a lot of our listeners probably have also.
I hope only good things.
Well, I'm just kidding. Of course, you're considered the young, passionate, the new young blood of politician. So, okay, let's see.Here is what we already know about you. We know that as the year of 2018, you are 25 years old.
Yep.
We also know that you got the King Scholarship, like you said, to go study abroad in England at Eton College.
Yep.
Then you got your bachelor's degree in philosophy, politics, and economics at Oxford University.
Yep.
Now, was that...bachelor's degree or was it a joint bachelor and master?
It was a bachelor's degree. So it was a 3-year degree, but I was there for 4 years because I took 1 year off to do student union stuff. But the funny thing about Oxford and Cambridge bachelor's degrees is that 3 years after you graduate, it automatically turns into a master's. So I literally just got an invitation on the post inviting me to my degree ceremony for my master's degree.That's
I've never heard of that. I never knew that fact before. Why? Like how is that possible?
I tend not to advertise that fact because I don't feel like I deserve a master's degree. My dad really wants me to do a master's degree, so I once thought that I would kind of fool him.
Yeah.
And told him that I went and studied and look, here's my master's degree. You don't need to ask me to do my master's degree anymore. But.So that I actually don't know what the actual story is, but there are two myths. One is the myth that back in the old days, Oxford and Cambridge degrees were considered so difficult that they decided to compare it to a master's degree, which I find is a bit of an elitist way.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like that myth.
Almost discriminating.
Yeah,
way.
I mean, that's why I'm not a big fan of that myth. The second myth I'm also not a big fan of, which is the myth that back in kind of 200, 300 years ago, the UK, so democracy is normally one man or one person, one vote, right? I should say. They entertain the idea of having some people having more than kind of multiple votes. So the idea was that if you have a master's degree, you might be eligible for 2 votes, which is also, I completely disagree with as well. So there are these two myths which kind of hang around as to why this whole weird practice is happening.Neither which I agreed with. So that's why I tend not to say I have a master's degree.
Okay. Now, we also know that you're a huge soccer fan.
Football. We're not American here.
Football, of course. Football. Of course, you're a huge football fan. Yeah. And of course, you support Liverpool.
Yep.Okay.
And we also know that your uncle is the former Prime Minister of Thailand.
Okay. People tend to not forget that.
Yes. Being the nephew of Kun Apisit Veshachiwa, that has sort of became almost of a title for you. Every time someone says your name, it always follows with the nephew of Kun Apisit Veshachiwa, right? So that sort of follows you everywhere in the media. Now, how do you feel about being called that all the time or having that title all the time? Do you wish people would call you just by your name and not necessarily mention your uncle, or it doesn't really bother you that much?
It is a bit frustrating because regardless of whether people have positive or negative views of my uncle, they always tend to judge me by that. And I have a really funny story. I think it was an interview about 3 or 4 years ago that I gave. And they asked this exact question. And we went on for a long time talking about kind of my idea of meritocracy, where people are judged by their actions and their ideas, not by who they're from or by factors they cannot control. And the interviewer was kind of going along with it, quite happy of what I was saying. He's like, oh, this makes sense, etc. Then he or she ended the show by saying, well, thank you very much for coming here today. I think Lan Kun Apisit. So I was kind of like, okay, we're back to square one.
I've also seen your interviews before, and you said, you can't choose your family.
Yeah, I know. There are two things on that, right? Number one is every interview I go, I have to spend like half the time, or if I'm lucky, 20% of the time explaining about this. And then people comment being like, oh, we haven't heard what policies you advocate. And I'm kind of like, well, I wish I had more time to talk about policies, but I didn't get to. The second thing is there's no right answer on this, right? If I say, everyone has good and bad qualities, including your parents, your uncles. And by the way, I have more than one uncle in more than one political party.
Right.
But I don't know why the focus is on this one particular uncle.
Right.
Maybe it's my looks. I don't know. But I also cannot control that fact.
Yeah.
But regardless, there's no right answer. Because if I talk a lot about the positive qualities of my uncle, Kunapisit, then people will say, okay, here we go. He's just like a cloning. If I say something that I perhaps may not agree with or I would have done differently, then people would say, oh, you're disrespecting your elderly. So there's no right answer for this.
Right.
But the thing I do want to stress is that there are, of course, similarities. Right? I cannot deny that I went to Oxford. I did philosophy, politics, and economics, just like my uncle, but also just like 250 other people each year. But there are also differences. After graduation, I decided to go and work in the private sector for 2 years abroad. My uncle back then decided to do a master's degree and then came back and was a professor at Thammasat University. But no one ever talks about this fact. People only talk about things that are similar. Yeah, and they also assume that I'm very close to him when I grew up. I don't think he even knew I decided to do philosophy, politics, and economics until I was there. And we only met kind of once a year in these kind of big family reunion. We are kind of part of a very big family. And we never discuss politics because as I mentioned, I have 2 uncles on opposite parties. So if we ever discuss politics, I don't think my grandparents would be too pleased.
Yeah, 2 things you should never discuss at a family reunion: politics and religion.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because it could create conflict. It could make family fight. I've witnessed it myself with politics. But okay, so now let's get to know you a little better. Let's move on from that topic. And let's start with your life in the UK.
Yeah, the first time I was in the UK was when I was 9 for just the summer. I went there and I hated it.
Why?
I was so young, right? I was 9 and I studied at Santit Jula. So my English was not great. I think I had 1 year of English lessons at Santit Jula P3 before I went. And I was thrown into this boarding school for 1 term where I could not communicate with anyone. I didn't understand what was going on in class. I didn't understand what was going on outside class. I was on my own with my brother at the time, and I hated it. So then I said, you know what, I'm not going to continue here. I'm going to come back to Thailand. So I told my parents that. But the headmaster at the time, I think he brainwashed my parents a little bit. He said, oh, if your son stay at our school, he will have a very good chance to win a scholarship to some of the top boarding schools in the UK. So I think when I came back to Thailand, my parents decided to invest and send me to an international school for a few years, thinking that there may be a chance that I would get to enter the UK education system later on. And then I guess that's what happened. There are 2 ways of entering Eton, right? One is you go through the normal route where you kind of, I don't know when you have to register, but then you take an exam at 11, then you take another exam at 13. Now, I didn't go through any of that because I initially had no intention of going to Eton. I was studying at an international school, which actually went on to Mohawk. So I could have stayed there for a long time, had good friends. But the second way to enter Eton was to go through a scholarship called the King Scholarship, which, by the way, the King refers to King Henry VI of the UK, not any part of the royal Thai family. King Henry VI founded Eton College in 1440 initially as a school for underprivileged children. And he gave a donation or endowment for 15 students per year to study at Eton with assistance on school fees. That tradition carried on. I mean, the school expanded. They accepted kind of fee-paying students as well, but they always committed to giving scholarship to 15 students. The only condition is you have to fly there and take a 1-week-long exam. So that's what I did when I was 13.
What was the exam consist of?
So it was multiple subjects. But the interesting thing was it tested potential and critical thinking rather than knowledge. If it tested knowledge, there's no way I would have been there because the curriculum was very different. So for starters, there were some subjects that I never studied, like French or Latin or classical Greek. So there's no way I could compete with the kids in the UK on that. But even on topics like maths and English and geography, it was more kind of critical thinking questions. And there were also exams that tested general thinking. It was called general paper. One of the questions I remember was, it was some kind of, they drew out this scenario where I think like two neighbors had a conflict. I think like one of the neighbors' trees like extended into the other guy's house. And then they said, imagine you were hired as a lawyer for one of the neighbors. Like, how would you present your case to court? And of course, there's nothing to do with knowledge, right? Like, no 13-year-old kid knows anything about the law.
Yeah.
But it just tested kind of how you would structure your thoughts.
Do you remember your answer?
Nope.
Oh, I want to know.
I think it was good enough. Let's
Yeah.
say that. Because
Obviously.
when the results were published, kind of this is another thing I'm grateful for as well. They didn't care too much that you had to do really well in all subjects. They just cared that you had potential in a few. So my scores on French was abysmal. My score on English was horrendous. Because I mean, the English paper I remember actually. Doing just a normal English paper was already difficult.
Yeah.
But the question I had was, here's a recipe for a certain type of food. Can you translate that recipe, which is modern English, into like old English?
Oh my goodness.
I was like, I barely understand modern English.
Old English?
Yeah.
As in like sort of like Shakespearean
I think,
time
yeah,
period
yeah.
kind of English? Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't even understand the modern English. So it's difficult. But so the paper I scored well on was on the general paper and math. So that's kind of how I managed to squeeze in.
That's crazy. And then you got the scholarship and ended up at Eton, right?
Yep.
And it's a full boarding school, which means that all students live on campus
Yep.
24/7.
Yep.
And it's an all-boys school.
Yep.
Did you wish that it was different at time, like maybe being able to commute from home to school or having female schoolmates? Do you miss that, or was it okay? It was adjustable.
It was actually a good experience for me. I think boarding school gives you a new experience. And the fact that I was so far away from home, right? Because even though it was full boarding school, I had one of my best friends actually lived really close to the school. So over the weekend, he could kind of like, his parents would come and pick him up for lunch and he can kind of sneak out a little bit. But for me, there was no chance of that, right? I lived like 12 hours away by plane. But I think what it meant was that I became really independent. There was no one checking if I had done my homework. No one was checking whether I was revising for my exams. So number one is like I became much more independent. Number two is when you put a group of boys together 24/7, for someone like me who loves playing sports, it was heaven.
Yeah.
I literally, like in British summer, it gets dark at around like 10:30 or 11 p.m. I would
Whoa.
literally play football up until football, by the way, not soccer. Up until
course.
real football, right? With the foot
Oh,
rather
real
than
football.
rather than the
okay.
hand. Yeah?
Okay, that's the real football. Okay.
I played up until like 11 until like they had to drag me back in. So it was good for me.
What position do you play?
I started off as a striker because my legend. I mean, the reason I spotted Liverpool initially was because I was a big fan of Michael Owen. Because he was small and I was very small compared to the British kids. Then he betrayed our team. So I decided to switch from the striker as well and started playing in midfield. Because I suddenly became a huge fan of Steven Gerrard.
Okay.
Recently, I kind of have to keep dropping back because my body is no longer fit for being the all-action central midfielder.
Do you still play?
I try to play every week, but normally on a 7-a-side pitch. I'm actually playing on Sunday as well for the Democrat Party.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Wait, are you playing against like older people?
With-
or are they more...
With and against, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, high expectations for me, but I'm not sure if I can compete, to be honest.
What about the female part, the schoolmates? Do you miss that about?
A little
School?
bit,
No,
a little
yeah.
bit. Because when I was 13, before I went, I was in international school. It was a co-ed school, so
Right.
there were boys and girls. But I wasn't really. I guess I matured quite late. I wasn't really into like girls. Like normally guys are.
Yeah.
So I didn't really feel that I was missing any part of that.
Right.
I mean, I think it would have been nice to have girls around because obviously like it just adds diversity to the
Right.
place. But putting all boys together also means that you can do things that you probably wouldn't be able to do in a co-ed school.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's also there are positives to it.
Were there social functions with maybe? Did you guys have sister schools?
Yeah,
or?
we had it, but it was really awkward. So
Aww.
Eton had a sister school, right? And every time there's these like socials or like discos,
Yeah.
and literally all the boys at Eton would rush after the lesson to go and sign up. So to make this list, to go to this event, you have to basically run all the way from your classroom as soon as it's finished to sign up.
It's limited.
Yeah, it's limited.
In number. Uh-huh.
And I managed to go once because I think there was one time where it was done by lot. I went, it was really awkward.
Oh.
You kind of have a room and then there's like one
One
on one
side.
side of the wall, like all guys, one side of the wall, all girls, and then like gradually throughout the night, it kind of like moves slowly across the room towards the center.
Oh, young love. Oh,
No, I
that's so
just feel like
cute.
it was too forced.
Yeah.
I think things between guys and girls
Yeah.
should develop naturally.
True. That's true. So being a boarding school student, did you ever get to go out at all? I mean, by yourself, not like school field trip or anything.
Not really. They were quite strict. There was a town next door called Windsor. That was as far as we could go. It was one time on a field trip to London. There was a huge traffic. We were going out to see a play in London. There was huge traffic, so we had to miss dinner. So I was super hungry. So I sneaked out with a couple of my friends for some Chinese food. And even that was, I ended up in like 2 months of detention for that.
You got caught.
Yeah, I got caught. I didn't think at the time, but it was pretty obvious because the whole row was missing.
Yeah.
But how they found us at a Chinese
That's really random.
restaurant, I don't know, yeah.
Would you recommend Thai parents to send their young children off to boarding schools in the UK? What would you say were the pros and cons from your own experience?
I think whether they should, I think depends on the specific situation, both in terms of like opportunity. We cannot deny the fact that for most students who study abroad, they have to pay quite high fees. Right? I wish there were more scholarships for people who probably cannot afford it to be able to go. I think it depends on that. It also depends on the type of child and the type of parents you are. I think pros for sure is the independence the child will get. I see that as a pro because it also means that when you leave boarding school in the UK, you kind of can look after yourself. You don't have to rely on your parents. But the cons of it, which my parents keep telling me, is that I can be quite stubborn as a child because I would have my own views. I would be very independent. I would kind of like do whatever I want. And then my parents would be like, oh, we should never have sent you to the UK. So, there are benefits and costs.
Do you feel like your life changed a lot transitioning from Eton to Oxford?
Unfortunately not, because actually a lot of people from Eton actually ended up at Oxford. So it was good that actually all my best friends, all but one of my close group of friends, we all went to Oxford together.
Nice.
So that was really nice. Obviously the one difference was there were girls. Didn't know what they were before. So that took a bit of adapting.
Yeah. But I'm sure eventually you guys got used to it.
Yeah.
So, of course, Oxford is world renowned and it's known for being really hard to get into.
Yeah.
Is it as hard as they say it is? And what do you have to do to get into Oxford? How do you prepare yourself?
So the process was very interesting. And I think when you say as hard as people think it is, it's not as hard in terms of you don't need to necessarily to go to a good school or have a lot of knowledge or have good grades to get in. In a way, the requirements in terms of grades was not as high or not higher than a lot of other universities in London. But it was seen as a minimum. Because as soon as your grade kind of passed a certain barrier, which I think like 10 times the number of people, so if they accept 100 people per year, like 1,000 people would have the grades necessary to get in there. But after that is they go through a 3 filtering process. One is you have to write a statement saying why you want to study this course at Oxford. 2 is if you pass that stage, then you're invited to take a test. And the test actually tests your potential, very similar to the Eton scholarship test. So for PPE, which is philosophy, politics, and economics, it was a 60-question multiple choice, testing critical thinking and logic and IQ. Then if you pass that, then you go to the final stage, which is the most stressful and most unique, which is interviews. You're actually interviewed by professors who then end up teaching you. And the unique thing about Oxford is that you are taught by your professor one-on-one or one-on-two. So you develop a very close relationship with that professor. So when you go for an interview, it's more like a conversation. And they kind of just wanted to get to know you, how you think about each issue. I remember the question I had on my philosophy interview was, what makes you the same person that you were 5 years ago? And what makes that person the same person 10 years ago?
How did you answer that? Do you remember?
I think I said it was linked to with memory. I'm not sure if that's a good answer. I would stick by it. But I think that's some line of answer that I went with. But it was more a conversation.
Yeah.
And it was like if they think you have potential, you're eager to learn, then they like you, they want to have you as one of their students, then
Are you taught by the same professor through all 3 years, or just each year is different?
Depends on the
professor?
module, but there are always professors that kind of stick along the whole course.
Okay. That's really interesting. I never knew that. It's so different. And I maybe that's why they think you guys deserve a master's degree 3 years later, because you're being taught one-on-one. It's like super private education right there.
But we're never forced to go to lectures, is the thing. They never check attendances. You could easily go through your whole degree without going to a single lecture.
Yeah, same in America, actually.
Okay, it's the same.
But we do have discussions. It's like a smaller group classes that are taught, but those are usually they do take attendance for those.
But you guys always have to take exams, right?
Yes.
At Oxford, you don't do any exams until your final year.
Which is tougher.
It made my final year horrendous.
Yeah.
But it meant that in my first 2 years, I could do a lot of extracurricular stuff.
But does it mean that does it compile all the knowledge you've learned?
Yep.
See, I think that's harder because I feel like when you're taking tests, a little bit here and a little bit there, it's sort of like you can just let go some of the stuff.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to though, right? That's the thing.
I know. Now, of course, talking about your experience at Oxford, we cannot not talk about Oxford Union Society.
Okay, yep.
Could you paint us the picture? What is it like to be a part of the Oxford Union Society?
By the way, this is a very valid question in terms of what the Oxford Union is, because I have to, when I was treasurer, I was in charge of recruiting members. So when Oxford students come in Freshers Week in their first year, they have to choose which society they want to be part of. And I had to have this speech to explain what the Oxford Union was. It was initially in 1823 a debating society. It was created in an environment where freedom of speech was hugely limited. And therefore, this was an arena where students could get together and debate any topics without being limited on what they can say. So that's why it was initially a debating society. But throughout the course of its 200-year history, it grew on to become almost like a student union. 70% of Oxford students are members of the union. The union has an annual revenue of £1 million, so 50 million baht.
Wow.
And it has a campus in the center with a 600-member hall, debating hall. It has a bar, it has a library, it has 20 full-time members of staff, and it's run by a student committee, entirely student-run, and every single person on that committee has to be elected university-wide by the members.
So would you say it is sort of the voice of the students?
There were two
Oxford?
student unions at Oxford, right? One is called Oxford University Student Union, OUSU. The other one is
Which is kind of like student body president.
That's kind of your typical student union
like
that you would
ASB.
understand. Yeah. And it has Oxford Union Society, which is what I was president of. And actually, as president, you don't debate. This is the thing. So I was president of the debating society who did no debating. You do kind of three things. One is you organize and interview speakers. So every day when I was president, I had to interview at least one speaker. And that speaker could be like president of Afghanistan, It was Malala, who was a Nobel Peace Prize winner. But it could also be kind of John Cena, WWE wrestler, Jack Gleason, who played Joffrey in Game of Thrones. So it's basically leaders in different fields. And the style of interview was that you should challenge them. Because, I mean, this society was founded on a principle of free speech. So you're always kind of invited to challenge them. And one condition we place on speakers is that when they come to speak at Oxford Union, we don't pay them. The other condition was that they had to take any questions from the students. They cannot say kind of, we don't allow any questions. So that was one of the responsibility. Also kind of chairing debates as well. I mean, we actually had debates. It wasn't a debating society without debates. But the debates, normally the president would set the topic or the motion, and then you would invite a mixture of students and experts in that field to come and debate each other. So that's number one. Number two was I had to kind of look. It was almost like looking after a business, right? It had a £1 million revenue. Yeah. So there's a lot of pressure. Kind of how do you make sure that amount of money is spent wisely, and we retain that amount of revenue that keeps the society going. So there was a lot of kind of financial management that goes on. How do you increase membership without increasing fees? Because 70% of our income was through membership fees, and of course we didn't want to increase the fees because then that affects students. So how do you kind of circumvent that? One of the things I did was actually we introduced a YouTube channel, which was very controversial at the time because some kind of the more conservative members in the opposing party when I ran my presidential election. And the main ideological difference between my team and my opposing party when we ran the election was that I wanted to introduce this YouTube channel or expand it, and they wanted to limit it because they felt that if anyone can view the debates or these events online, no one would apply to be a member, and therefore we would lose revenue. But I actually saw it differently. I feel that people would still apply, but what you can do with a YouTube channel is that it actually increases the brand of the Oxford Union globally. There are now clips on our YouTube channel with over 1 million or 2 million views, and it also means we can attract more speakers. It also means we can attract more sponsorship. So actually, I felt it was instead of trying to limit technology, we should just embrace it and find opportunity. So that was the second thing. How do you manage the financial situation? The third thing was you have 20 full-time members of staff, all of whom were much older than you, much more experienced than you. How do you keep them happy? Right?
How?
And it was I actually got very close to them personally, and I think that helped a lot. Because I didn't run my first election and said I'm going to be president. I started off working in kind of the lower committee, then the upper committee, then the treasurer, then president. So I had a good relationship with them. We worked together on a few things. So it was nice, and I still keep in touch with them right now. Like people who work behind the bar at the union.
Yeah.
I got a lot of free cokes from them.
Cokes?
Yeah, Coca-Cola, not.
Yeah, well, obviously, no, not the drugs.
just to clarify.
So you're the first Thai person to become the president of Oxford Union. What made you decide that I want to do this job? I want to take on this position.
I was actually almost the first East Asian, but then the guy before me beat me to it. He was from Korea, and that was his platform, by the way. So every Asian in the university turned out for him. So when I ran my presidential election, I couldn't use that anymore. So that's why I had to do actual policies, like the YouTube channel.
Right.
My first attraction to it was I came in and I thought, wow, like there's a society that's like really, really entrenched on principles of democracy and freedom of speech. I felt that there are a lot of student unions in other universities in the UK, but they can't really do much because the people in the university actually has the real power, right? But here was a student that was completely run by students, which was scary. Because I could have literally run it to the ground if I mismanaged.
It's a lot of pressure.
So one was on democracy. Two was it just had cool events. I went in the first week Johnny Depp came.
Whoa, cool.
I actually slept through that in the sense that I initially didn't think I got a ticket. I found out like my friend texted me in the morning that I did get a ticket, but I had slept through it.
Aww.
But I mean it had cool speakers, and I that's why I enjoyed it. So I got involved in the first term. And then started running elections.
Nice. So being president, you get to interview a lot of impressive and interesting people from different walks of life. You must have learned a lot from interviewing them. Could you tell us some of the most memorable ones that still left an impression on you today?
I have to say I learned a lot more, not just from the speakers, but from actually managing the society. That was the skills I got more out of it. I mean, speakers were, of course, very impressive. But I think I remember the most was, a few incidents. Number one was when President Hamid Karzai of Afghanistan came. He was a very accomplished politician. But he was really nervous before the speech. He asked for a few moments and he kind of looked a bit nervous. And I was like, wow, even the most accomplished, experienced politicians are nervous of university students. And then midway through his speech, I think some guy came in from his team and said there was some bombing that happened in Afghanistan. So we had to kind of pause.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was when I realized how lucky I was to be in that position. This guy has so many important things to do back home in Afghanistan. He flew all the way over to come to speak to these university students. So I was quite impressed by that. Malala was interesting. Malala Yousafzai, right? She was only a nominee back then. Now she's a Nobel Prize winner. She almost didn't come. She was obviously very busy. But I met her dad before she finally agreed. And her dad really wanted her to do PPE, which was, of course, I was doing. So I said, well, I can help give you some advice.
Yeah.
So I then going through the parent channel.
Use it to your advantage.
And I ended up, she was quite quiet before we went onto the event. Unlike her younger brother, who kept coming up to me and kind of asking me to play with him. He was really young. So I thought the best way for me to kind of get him to just stay put was to do a card trick. I knew a card trick, right? So I had a pack of cards and I just did it in the office to him. And he was really impressed. And it backfired because then he kept coming up to me saying how did you do it? How did you do it? Right up to when I was walking with Malala into the hall, he still came up to me, asked me how I did it. So it was a bit distracting. So that didn't work out.
Where were his parents?
His parents more concerned with Malala's speech. So that was funny. I also Super Junior, right? Korean band. I didn't know who they were at the time. They came. They couldn't speak English, so we had an interpreter. But on the morning of the event, I went into the Oxford Union campus, and there was an Asian woman standing outside in a backpack, and she asked me can I stay here? And I was like, oh, sorry, this is not a hotel. There's some hotel. It's I haven't booked any place. I just flew all the way over because I really want to meet Super Junior. And I was like, I'm really sorry, but it's only open to university students. So then when the event happened, I interviewed Super Junior. I didn't know too much about it, I have to admit.
Yeah.
But when I came out, people started coming up to me and trying to grab my hand. And I was like, what's going on? And they're like, you shook hands with them. I want to grab...
second-hand handshaking.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. This is really weird, but sure.
Sawasdee ka, โบสาวิตรีนะคะ This is We Need To Talk Podcast Talk Show ภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับคนไทยที่ใช้ภาษาอังกฤษค่ะ Hi you guys, welcome back to our show. Thank you so much for listening. And still here with us this week น้องไอติมภริษวัชรศิลป์ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Just out of curiosity, I want to know when you were in the UK, did you have any nicknames that your friends called you? Did your friends call you Parit or Aitim or Tim?
So this is actually really interesting. So my parents were, I have to admit, were quite visionary in naming their kids. My older brother is called Atam, and I'm called Aitim. Part of the reason for that is that if there was a chance for us to study abroad, it could easily be Tom and Tim. So then when I got a scholarship to the UK when I was 13, I introduced myself as Tim because obviously in Thailand my friends would call me Aitim, the word Tim. So it's the name I go by. But I have to explain to every person that I meet why on my passport or on any school register it says Parrot and how your name is Tim. So number one, it was really confusing for them.
Yeah.
Number two is there was another guy called Tim in my house, in my boarding house, and he was a bit of a character, and he got really upset because people started calling me Tim and called him by his surname because of course no one would ever call me by my surname.
Yeah.
So then he didn't like that. So then I said, you know what, you can have the name Tim and I will take Parrot. People can call me Parrot and then no one will ever have to ask me again where Tim came from. So ever since then, my friends in the UK always called me Parrot. Some of them don't even know I'm called Aitim. And whenever they visit me in Thailand, my Thai friends will get so confused. It's why are your friends calling you Parrot?
Yeah.
But even Parrot has its own problems because when I tell them like my name is Parrot, they will be like what, like the bird.
Like the bird? Yeah.
Then I have to say no, like the city, but with a T instead of an S.
Oh, that's a good way to remember your name. I had a similar problem when I studied abroad too. My name is Savitri. So in like American English, people call me Savitri, and they're like, oh, like Sabiche. I'm like, no, like okay, you could adapt it to like save a tree or something like that, so it's easier to remember.
Savvy.
Yeah, a lot of people call me Savvy.
So my friends called me Whackers for a bit because of my surname. Because it's like what for Sindhu, but the CH could be like Wacka. So they call me Whackers.
Good thing it wasn't Wacko. I'm just kidding.
It might have been. Maybe I just didn't notice.
Just kidding. And of course, by the time that this episode is published, you'll already be in the military training for quite some time.
Yep.
How do you feel about that? Why did you choose to voluntarily apply instead of drawing, just going it by chance, just going through the draft like other people?
Yeah, I think the thing I have to say first, because it's been misconstrued a little bit in the media, is that just because I volunteered doesn't mean that I agree whether there should be military conscription in the future or not.
Right.
I'll come once I come out, I'll tell you guys what I think. Because then I could get to learn more about it. Mm-hmm. But the reason I volunteered instead of joining the black and red card is I think it's a much more transparent and straightforward channel. Because I mean, we know, but we can't really say that everyone who gets the black card, some of them don't get it because of luck. Right? Some of them get it because of other means.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like if I just volunteered and it would just eliminate all these questions. And if I end up like doing work in politics, I don't want to waste any second of my time answering questions about my military conscription. Right. I'd rather do actually work that affects people. So I thought, let's just
get it over with. And
yeah.
just, stop the speculations.
Yeah.
All right, so this edition of We Need to Talk เราจะมาเล่นเกมสนุกๆกันใน We Need to Play.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. The first game is called Would You Rather.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to choose between these two choices. Would you rather have a rewind button in your life or have a pause button in your life?
Ooh. I mean, right now I want to say pause because then I can sleep. But I'd probably say rewind because nothing to lose if you rewind, right? Because if there are good memories, then you can relive it. If there are bad memories, you can change it.
Would you rather get to be the best football player in the world right now or get to be the Prime Minister of Thailand right now?
Right now?
Yes.
I'll take the football player because I feel like I still have much more to learn before I can be comfortable with being Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm. Would you rather be a miserable genius or be a happy moron?
Oh, that's a strong word. I'll probably take the happy moron. I mean, I don't like the word moron, but if you define a moron, then that person probably does not even know if he or she is a moron. Mm-hmm. So if I'm a happy moron, then I'm just happy.
Yeah.
So I'll take that.
Good answer. Would you rather find and get to live a happy life with your soulmate?
Okay.
But everyone around you hates her. Or
him.
Or him. But I mean, judging from your dating history, I mean, I'm sure it's a she, right?
No, I'm straight, but
see how he like hurries, because he doesn't want me to say any names. I'm not gonna do that to you. I'm just kidding. Would you rather find and live a happy life with your soulmate, but everyone around you hates him or her, or stay single for the rest of your life with loving friends and family?
Probably the former. Because even if...
Really?
Well, number one is I hope my soulmate is not someone who my friends and family are not going to accept.
Yeah.
Because I hope they accept my choices. Mm-hmm. But if that were to be the case, then you can always compartmentalize. Have fun with your soulmate on one day. Go meet your family the other. Doesn't have to be...
But poor her. Like, she's going to be wondering throughout your marriage, why doesn't your family like me?
Well, I'll keep working. I'll keep working my hardest that they do.
Good answer. That's a good one. All right, the next game is called Finish the Sentence.
Okay.
จบประโยคต่อไปนี้ในแบบของไอติมเองนะคะ I don't think I have enough.
Sleep.
I knew you were going to say that. When someone cries in front of me, I always
think to myself, why? but ask them how. Ask them how I can help. But I mean, unless I don't entirely figure out why, then I don't really know how I can help.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I wish people would stop.
Comparing me to my uncle.
Oh! I think I spend too much time.
Riding motorbikes. Literally, I have so many meetings now every day that I spend almost like 2 hours cumulatively on a bike each day.
To avoid traffic.
So I really hope that problem gets resolved.
Please fix it.
I mean, the problem being traffic, not that I have like meetings to go to. I mean, that's okay.
That's a great thing.
That's a
Keep
good
it
thing.
coming.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
This year, I will not.
I will probably not get to vote in a national election, in spite of earlier promises.
Of course. All right, our next game is called Have I Ever เกมนี้จะสลับกันนะคะนั่นก็คือโบจะเป็นคนทายว่าน้องไอติมเนี่ยเคยทำสิ่งเหล่านี้หรือเปล่า Okay, so what's the first one?
Okay. Have I ever been hurt so badly during my football game that I needed to be hospitalized?
No.
That's correct. Although I did almost become blind because of football.
Why? How?
Because I went out one night and I wear contacts, right? Contact lenses. And I lost my jacket, and in my jacket was a key to my house. And my roommate was gone that night. And then my phone battery died, so I couldn't get back into the house. So I had to sleep outside that evening. But I had a really important football match to watch the next day. I had bought tickets for Chelsea Arsenal. It was going to be great. And if I took off my contact lens that evening, and there's a daily contact lens, so you're supposed to take it out. If I take it out, I will not get to watch that match in HD. So I decided to keep them on. Woke up the next day, went to watch the match, came back, my roommate came back, went in, took out my contacts, and oh my God, my eyes were hurting. 2 days later, I flew back. When I opened my eyes back in Bangkok, when I woke up on a plane, almost couldn't see anything. So I rushed straight to the hospital, and they said, thank God you came today, because there's an infection, and if you came a little bit later, you could potentially lose your eyesight.
Oh my gosh. That's a great story.
So I'm committed to football. Okay, number 2, right?
Yes.
Have I ever done something embarrassing in public just because I lost a bet to my friend?
Yes.
I guess that's correct. Because, I mean, I don't think I need to lose a bet with my friend to do something embarrassing in public. But let's not go into details as to what that
I was about to ask what happened.
I mean, karaoke is definitely a place where I can very easily embarrass myself.
Oh my God, I want to see.
I got 0 when I sang back in prep school, primary school. Okay.
Next.
Number 3. Have I ever been punished because I intentionally broke the school's rules?
Yes.
Yeah, this was a giveaway, right? I told you about my...
You ditched the play.
Yeah. Okay, number 4. Have I been so lazy that I stayed in bed all day and did nothing?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just assume that I'm serious all the time. And that I spend weekends like reading the Constitution and all that stuff.
Aww.
So I'm glad you see me as a normal human being, which I am. So thank you. Finally, this is a bit of a giveaway. Have I ever performed some singing and dancing on stage?
Yeah. Well,
Like-
does karaoke count?
Let's not count karaoke.
Yes, because at Eton, I'm sure you guys like per house you have to do some sort of
we had
performance.
this is really interesting. We had a singing competition between houses, and I was asked specifically to lip sync and not sing because it would damage the chance of. I mean, we came third, so I was really happy.
Yeah.
But I lip synced the whole way through.
Yeah.
I
So
think
you
it
put
was-
on a good act.
Yeah, I was very passionate in my actions, just not in my voice.
But you performed on stage technically.
Yeah, I performed on stage.
Is that it? Are those all the questions? Hey, I did pretty good today. I got it all right. Right?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yes. All right, the next game is called Super Random Questions.
Okay.
If you must change one thing about your appearance, what would it be?
Ooh. Well, I definitely need to cut my hair before I go into the military. So that's one.
Yeah.
I wish I could be taller.
So do I. What house at Hogwarts do you think you belong to? Ooh, that's a fun one.
Oh, I think it's the responsibility of the sorting hat. So I don't want to breach into his or her responsibility. Sorting hat male.
I think it's a he.
It's a he, right? Okay.
It sounds like a he.
Probably Ravenclaw, because I mean I am like at the end of the day a big nerd.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ravenclaw.
What? You're known for speaking up your mind. You're very good at talking, but is there anything or any topic that still can make you stutter?
I guess my private relationship life.
Yeah, as we could tell earlier.
If you watch my, I'm happy to talk about that. I know what you're trying to refer to, but if you watch my earlier interviews, the reason I don't speak is not because I'm not confident speaking about it, but I just feel that if I speak, then my private life no longer becomes private.
Right.
And I think for two people to live happily together, it's already difficult enough. Let's not add external pressure to it.
Exactly. And if you speak at one place and, the questions just keeps on coming.
Yeah.
So
it goes to her as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just, yeah.
I heard that you're not a picky eater at all. You can eat the same food for a week. But
Yep.
is there anything that you would never, ever eat?
I don't think there's anything I would never eat. But if I cook it myself, I would think twice about eating it.
Really? So you're not a big cook?
I am not a great cook.
But can you cook for yourself?
I mean, I can do mama noodles. Done that before.
Me too.
Can do fried egg. I can also put like a ready meal into a microwave pretty well.
Okay. You could live on. Who was your first celebrity crush?
Oh, this is tough. I tend to be much more realistic with my crushes. So don't remember my first celebrity crush. I just remember my first crush.
Oh, can you tell us who it was?
I mean, I'm not going to say names, but it was the girl when I was in international school.
Oh.
Don't think she ever knew.
Yeah. Just in case you could send this podcast to her and be like, it was you. Just
She'd be
kidding.
like, who are you?
I know, because you guys were so young, right?
Yeah.
If you were forced to get a tattoo, what would it be and where would it be on your body?
Ooh. I'm not a big fan of tattoos because it kind of like it's permanent, right?
Right.
Probably something to do with Liverpool because that's something that runs in my veins.
Oh, God.
But probably not a crest because that's a bit tacky. So probably something subtly about Liverpool.
Like a hong?
No, like maybe like the year was founded or something like that, right?
Oh, okay. That's
But where? I guess something somewhere not too public. Probably the answer.
on your left butt cheeks. Just kidding.
Wait, not too public, not too private.
Okay. But I mean, for men, you're pretty much like you can expose
No,
like
but
your
your-
top part is like
the top part of your
gone.
arm, right? It's not that public.
Oh,
It's not,
okay.
that's not too private.
But if you wear a t-shirt.
Yeah, I mean here. Yeah, top part. Sorry, I just realized it's a radio.
Explain the meaning of the word politician to a 7-year-old.
If you want to change the country, but you're too lazy to do it, you elect someone to do it for you.
And that little one is a politician.
Yep.
What countries besides Thailand and the UK that you've been to and would like to revisit?
Probably France. Paris was quite romantic.
Yes.
So yeah.
Aw. Who is your favorite hero? Who is your favorite superhero of all time?
Batman.
Why?
And number one, I loved Christopher Nolan's movies, so I loved The Dark Knight. But two, Batman is a superhero without superpowers.
Yes.
And number three is he has Alfred. I want to have an Alfred. My life would be so much simpler if I have an Alfred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I can afford an Alfred as well.
Yeah. What would make you roll your eyes?
I probably get most frustrated when I'm driving. And what really annoys me is when people don't use indicators when they're turning left or right.
Yes. That's what I said too.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Okay, well, if you give me your license plate, then I'll make sure that
Dude,
if I ever catch you not using indicators, I will ring you up.
That's the problem in Thailand. I feel like people I don't know how they get their license. Like I think they get it too easily, but when they drive, I feel like they never even took that driving test because they don't use the signal and they just randomly just decided to switch lanes without telling you, which is so dangerous. And they're violating a lot of traffic laws, and they think they don't think they're wrong. That's another problem in Thailand. So if one day, the first request is for traffic, right?
Yeah.
My second request would be enforce traffic rules, please, for our safety. Oh, that's it. That's it for our questions for today. Thank you so much for coming. Did you have fun?
Yeah, I did, but now I have to rush to my next interview, probably on a motorbike.
Yes.
But thank you very much for having me. It's been a fun conversation.
And we're looking forward to seeing your bright future in politics. And good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
สนุกสวัสดีค่ะโบสาวิตรีนะคะ This is We Need To Talk Podcast Talk Show ภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับคนไทยที่ใช้ภาษาอังกฤษค่ะ Hi you guys, welcome back to our show. Thank you so much for listening. Guest ของเราในวันนี้ค่ะต้องเรียกว่าโบเชิญมากราบถึงที่เลยนะคะเพราะว่าถ้าไม่มีเธอในวันนั้นก็จะไม่มีโบสาวิตรีในวันนี้ในรายการนี้ค่ะ The one and only คุณครูลูกกอล์ฟคณาทิพย์สุนทรรักค่ะ
Hi สวัสดีค่ะคุณโบ
Hi
สวัสดีค่ะพี่บิ๊ก Hi
พี่ลูกกอล์ฟ
guys I'm not alone
Yes he's not alone Please tell our listeners who you brought with you
Well
today
my other half is here
Hello.
Yeah
Hello.
hi อวดไปอีก Yeah my partner is here Paul Hi
Please
Paul.
welcome
Hi.
คุณ Paul
Yes
Burgess
and he is here to make sure that my English is flawless
Oh.
Absolutely. I'll be checking everything.
No please don't I'm a little bit nervous to be honest คุณโบแล้วก็คุณผู้ฟังด้วย I'm really nervous like seriously we have never done this no
No.
first time no
Together
ใช่
Oh my, we're so honored
We have never done this yeah
We're your first show ever
Yes I mean together
Properly. I've come in. Sometimes he's been interviewed, and I've been brought in for maybe 1 or 2 questions,
Right.
as a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've properly
Yes.
sat down together to do
Aw,
something.
so
yeah.
thank you for giving us this opportunity because we're so honored.
Thank you for having us
Thank you.
Thank you for having us and who are these people out there
They're here to support you. We never have this many people in our studio before. Let me just tell you that.
I'm honored right we need to talk about my hat We need to talk
It's a very lovely hat.
ตอนนี้จะบอกคุณผู้ฟังว่า I wish you could see us right now คือดิฉันให้เกียรติรายการมากเลยนะคะเนี่ยตอนเนี้ย
ทำไมคะ
แต่งตัวให้เกียรติรายการวิทยุมาก
ก็ดูดีเราดูดีตลอดผิดตรงไหน
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
I'm wearing so many hats right now so
Oh my god, you brought listeners,
I'm wearing too many hats
he brought 2 hats.
I'm wearing so many hats right now
So like just in case like intermission and like hat change like quickly.
Maybe anyway congratulations น้องโบ
Thank you.
congratulations
Thank
ที่น้องโบกำลังจะมีน้องนะคะแล้วก็ thank you so much for having us แล้วก็ได้รู้สึกดีใจที่ได้มารายการนี้มากๆอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
Thank
Yeah.
you for being here.
Right let's begin
Okay, so let me borrow this phrase from David Letterman's new show on Netflix and say my next guest needs no introduction because I'm pretty sure some of our most of our audiences already know you very well from your show. But just in case you don't know who Kru Lukov is, here are some facts for you, just a few short facts. He owns and runs Anchor's, one of the most popular English tutoring academies in Thailand, and he has been super successful with it for the past 8 years.
Sorry.
Bravo!
I'm not used to silence
This is like, you know how like in studios for like TV shows, they're like clappers? We have so many clappers today, we can do that. We're allowed to do that. Okay, next fact is that his TV show, English Room, is also super popular. Actually, I've been on the show once and fun
Probably
fact,
2 years ago.
I got this job because I was on your show and our producer saw me on your show. So that's how awesome your show is. So thank you. I owe you.
So P-Big watched that interview right
Yes. And he was like, who is this girl? I like, let's work with her. So thank you for the both of you. For, it's all chance, man. Okay, his other gig is on the radio show on EFM, Put Talk Put Toll. And you're doing such a great job with that. And I've heard that you actually auditioned to be a DJ a long time ago, which didn't really work out then. But you're rocking it right now.
Thank
So-
you. Thank you.
ตบมือ
Yeah, you want me to talk about that job right now, or we can talk about that later? I know.
Yeah,
today.
we could talk about that now. I mean, might as well.
Puto is very successful, and I'm very proud of this show. Interestingly, I was once rejected by EFM.
Yeah, I want to hear about this story.
I want to talk about this because
Yes, please.
Well, now I was once rejected. I wanted to be part of EFM so badly. After my graduation from the UK, I came back to Thailand. And I wanted to be many things, you know. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be, I wanted to be an English teacher. I wanted to be a TV host. I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to be a star. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be many, many things. Well, and I was a bit over the top as well back then. a little bit over the top. I'm not over the top right now. Am I still a little bit over the top right now? But
Paul, what do
I
you think?
couldn't possibly comment on.
Well, I love the fact that he can cope with my craziness
He
really well.
embraced your uniqueness and your quirkiness.
And that's wonderful. I ตัวพี่นะคะ I did a pilot with พี่ต้นหอม
on EFM.
Yes 7 years ago 8 years ago
Yeah.
probably 7 years ago so I did a pilot and I wanted to be part of EFM so badly I tried so hard to be loved to be accepted but at the end of the day they didn't choose me I fell apart I've just felt like shit like seriously I felt horrible and I have to admit that I did collapse my confidence was destroyed but I didn't stop there I kept improving myself I didn't give up and after 7 years the producer called me แล้วเขาก็บอกว่า look off I think you're ready and now I'm back you know after 7 years and it's surreal every time I'm in that room it's so surreal คุณโบเพราะว่ามันเหมือนแบบตอนนั้นเราแบบ I wanted to be there so badly choose me I'm good enough choose me but then they didn't choose me แล้ววันนี้เนี่ยพี่ได้รู้เลยว่า the reason why they didn't choose me was because I wasn't ready it's not because I wasn't good enough but I wasn't ready it would have been different you know what it would have been different I would have been mean พี่จะเป็นดีเจที่เหมือนแบบปากร้ายเลยพี่จะบอกเลยพี่จะไม่กลมกล่อมถ้าตอนนั้นนะ yeah I would have been fierce and it would have been different so thank God ขอบคุณที่
Things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
The timing of things happening. You know, like you said, if you were a DJ back then, you would have been a different person, maybe might have gone a different path.
Yes.
But now that you're ready, you're more well-rounded and gets a chance to do it now. And look at you now. You said you dreamt of being famous, being a TV host, being a DJ. You get to do it all now.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Is it like a dream come true?
Yeah. I mean, people often say that you can't have it all, but I think I sort of have it all. But when you have it all, almost everything, you sort of realize that it's important to be content with what you have.
Right.
And you have to try to understand that nothing is permanent. I will be less famous one day. ไม่มีอะไรเลยที่มันถาวรดังนั้น don't hold on to it I'm not holding on to anything right now even him I mean you know well it's great that we are together for this long we've been together for 9 years and it's great it has been wonderful but I'm not holding on to it you know what I mean no so yes one day kids when you have it all okay you have to understand that nothing in this world is permanentแล้วก็วันนี้เนี่ย I think of myself as no one I'm no one like seriously I'm just a student so I'm here today to talk to you to learn from this amazing place that's it so at some point in your life อยากฝากอย่างนี้นึงว่า at some point in your life you will be rejected okay you will be denied but you have to improve that's it simple as that don't just give up improve
Never give up.
never give up
That's a great life motto.
is that all for today วันนี้ลาแล้วสวัสดี
ยังค่ะใจเย็นค่ะเพิ่งเริ่มค่ะwe just got
we have
started
just started
All right, now let's talk about your school.
yes Angris
Angris. Being one of the most well-known English tutors today, I heard that you weren't even great at studying English when you were younger. What was the turning point?
Well, let's talk a little bit about my background. Well, I was born and raised in a Thai-speaking family. I was born and raised in Hat Yai, in Thung Lung, a very small village. Describe Thung Lung for us, please, Paul. Please. Thung
Lots
Lung.
of trees. I love it actually. I like trees.
We love Thung Lung. We love Thung Lung. Yes.
But yes, it's small. It's quiet and small.
And I've read on your Instagram post, you said that, when you were younger, you have always been jealous of people who lived in the concrete city.
Yes.
And now you appreciate the fact that, you're surrounded by nature.
I didn't want to live there when I was young because of the people, not because of the village itself, not because of the trees, not because of the nature, but because of the people. You have to imagine a very small village full of narrow-minded people. And I knew back then that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't change them. I had a bad childhood, a really, really bad childhood. Let's just put it this way. I decided to come out when I was really young. It was a big mistake. I knew I was different. คือพี่แบบรู้ว่าพี่แตกต่าง but I didn't know I was gay but I knew I was different I knew that I was Elsa นึกออกมั้ย that I was trying to conceal like something I just knew I was different then I realized that I was gay like I was so camp and I was so over the top and I was so gay so I decided to come out the result was disastrous it was horrible because now listen up They call me ตัวเฮีย at home, What? Now listen.
At home?
Yes. So my dad is Chinese.
Oh,
okay.
As in like big brother.
ตัวเฮีย
Okay.
So this name comes with responsibility.
Yes.
เข้าใจไหม เพราะว่า I hate it because they call me ตัวเฮีย
You're the oldest son.
Yes, like I was carrying everyone like back
on your shoulders.
Yes, and I was like, oh my gosh. My dad tried to change me. He stopped talking to me.
How old were you when you came out?
ประมาณแบบประถม3ประมาณนั้นน่ะ
Okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah. He wanted to commit suicide. It was that bad. It was horrible. It was just horrible, I ended up being really quiet when I was with my family. I was a victim of homophobia. Apart from that, I couldn't speak English until the age of 15. I was just like a normal Thai kid, I suppose. Like a normal Thai kid. I went to school.
And learned English for an hour every day at school.
Yeah, and I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak English. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't do it. So I had to learn English because I didn't want to die there. I started to suffocate.It was unbearable. Like at one point, คือเป็นภาพที่แย่ที่สุดคือตอนนี้ I'm fine now, but thinking about all those words that people sort of like said to me, คือแค่คิดนะยังน้ำตาจะไหลทุกครั้ง
It's a form of
but
bullying.
anyway, it just it doesn't go away. ดังนั้นคือวันนี้อยากจะบอกทุกคนจริงๆว่า words hurt. So you have to be careful. You have to try to be really, really careful. คืออย่างพี่เนี่ย I was a victim of homophobia. I was bullied all the time, likeเรียกมาชื่อหรือคำที่เขาเรียกเสียชาติเกิดบ้างละตุ๊ดบ้างละเป็นเอดเชื้อโรคใดๆ like all those nasty words but I survived because of my mom thank you mom มากๆ so ตอนนี้น้องโบกำลังท้องอยู่ you have to be very strong for your kid because I have to thank herจริงๆshe was very supportive she didn't understand me but still she was supportive คือแม่ก็ไม่ได้เข้าใจแต่วันนั้นก็แบบโอเคเดี๋ยวกูคงเข้าใจไหมมั้งแบบ one day อะไรอย่างเงี้ย anyway back to my story so I told myself I have to go I have to escape I can't live here because people will not change living in Thung Lung was like swimming in a pool a very small pool And I knew that there was a lake out there. I knew that there was an ocean. And I couldn't fight in that pool. I would drown. So I learned English. I started learning English because...
You feel like that's your way out.
Yes. And amazingly, it helped me cope with all those bad words and people. I could read English books, lots of them. Harry Potter.
yeah
เจ้าชายน้อยใดๆแค่นั้นก็รู้สึกว่าแบบ wow my world was bigger.
is that how you learned
Yes.
English
Well, let me tell you this. Reading always takes me to other worlds. You know, I don't need a boarding pass or train tickets.
it's all in here it's
You know-
all in your
Yeah,
imagination
you know what I mean?
it's all in your head
Just turn the pages and my journey starts. That's it. ดังนั้น
Yeah.
คือเด็กตอนนี้ที่กำลังแบบ if you're suffering, no matter where you are in this world right now, read something. Go somewhere with your books. Anyway, and it took me 2 years to learn English. And I practice every day. I would sit in front of the telly, นั่งหน้าจอทีวี and I would try to understand what those native speakers were saying. People like you.
and were you able to understand them a
It
few
got better.
here and there
It got better.
yeah
คือแบบ
it's a practice
คุณโบต้องเข้าใจว่า in the past I talk like this เลย คืออยู่เข้าใจไหมแบบ no matter how hard I try I couldn't do it เว้ย คือ that is why I understand my students so well อ่ะ
Yeah.
คือแบบ you have to change the system
yes
right now because each language has a different sound system right temperature พูดไม่ได้ผมว่าฉันเรียนมาว่าอะไร
Temperature
ฉันเรียนว่า temperature
temperature
ฉันเรียนมาว่า vegetable ไง
ใช่
leopard ไง I said leopard แบบ all the time อ่ะทำไมถึงสอนว่า leopard ทำไมถึงสอนว่าแบบวิสาดอย่างเงี้ย I couldn't do it ถูกไหมแต่พอเราฟังฝรั่งปุ๊บเราแบบ oh okay it's wizard it's leopard
yeah
why did you teach me that leopard ไปอีกเรียกว่าเสือดาวกูไม่หันเนี่ย anyway so yeah I practice every day and my English got so much better that it surprised everyone around me
how did you actually finally get out of Tunglung
ก็ติดนิเทศจุฬา so I came to Bangkok to study yeah so English changed my life
and then after that
I
what
went to-
made you decide to go to the UK
I just wanted to explore the world I just wanted to swim in an ocean full of opportunities and sharks
serious I'm impressed with your accent especially you said you learn at such a later stage of your teen years because normally accents are very hard to get rid of once you pass puberty and you learned at the point where you obviously passed your puberty already and you're managed to speak like this and I think that story is really inspiring besides from reading and watching TV is that how you get over the accent I find it so impressive that's really
I just
cool
listen to people and that's it
yeah
one thing that you have to understand ทุกคนเลยนะคะทั่วประเทศที่กำลังฟังอยู่ you have to understand that each student must have learned English with countless English teachers all these English teachers use different methods to teach their students เด็กไทยเรียนกับครูอเมริกันครูอังกฤษครูฟิลิปปินส์ครูอินเดียเป็นเรื่องที่ไม่ต้องประหลาดใจว่าทำไมเด็กเราถึงมี a mixed accent some teachers might say something like can't like I can't dance and some teachers
can't
I can't dance
I can't
like
dance
repeat after me บางคนก็ repeat after me บางคนก็ repeat เธอเข้าใจไหม repeat after me and I was like it was confusing
I had
right?
a teacher in grade school in Thailand. I think like in the 5th grade. She was Filipino. And the way she said Jews, she said Jews. Jews. And I remember as a 5th grader, I remember saying to my friend, is that correct? Like I know like at least in Thai we say Jews, like it's, like there's no like she made it like a D or like a T.
Yeah.
So, like, Jews or something like that. Yeah.
มันยากอ่ะ it
And
was confusing for me
for the kids.
it was
Yeah.
confusing for me as a student สุดท้ายเนี่ยพี่ก็เลยมี mixed accent my accent was horrible but I was proud of that accent because it was understandable
You can communicate.
I could communicate with people and I wasn't afraid of English anymore it was a really good start for a kid like me ที่แบบเราเรียนจากที่แบบต่างจังหวัด I really want to talk about my accent right now what you think of my accent
Well, it's excellent, yes.
Perfect answer. Yes. See, that's when you know he's a keeper.
Yeah
there's not one accent that is the right accent, of course. I mean, I think it's really important. There's nothing wrong with having a Thai accent, or
Exactly.
as long as it's understandable.
Well, language is communication. Okay, I wanted to sound British so badly after watching Harry Potter.
Yes.
And I try really hard to sound like Hermione Granger.
Yes. Go
Yeah, and
Gryffindor.
before I met him, actually, when I was alone in the UK, in England, I sort of talked like this for a while.
So kind of, is that like a posh accent? Is that what it is? It's like
Yeah.
you said.
It's not extremely posh like the royal family, but it's
A little bit posh.
Pretty
it's
up
a little,
there.
Little bit posh,
posher than me.
little bit posh, I guess. And I talked like this for a while, and I was pleased and happy with that accent. But then I stopped doing that. You want to know why I stopped?
Why?
Well, I woke up one day and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I asked myself this question. What are you doing? คือมันเป็นคำถามที่แบบ hang on, you're from Tung Lung, come on.
It's like
You're from Tung Lung. I was like, why do I have to, why?
it's like when Madonna picked up a British accent when she moved to England.
ถูกไหม
Yes.
So I stopped doing that คุณโบ and พี่บิ๊ก I stopped and then I told myself that LG stop trying to be someone else you're not เป็นบทเรียนที่ได้เรียนหน้ากระจกเพราะรู้สึกแบบ why do you have to talk like this all the time
But I love British accent.
I know
it's so cool.
It's a really fascinating accent. It's a fascinating accent, but it's not who you are.
Yeah,
it's
for
not
sure.
who, anyway.
Hermione.
Yeah,
You're not.
ใช่ I didn't have a wand คือฉันไม่ได้มีไม้กายสิทธิ์แล้วเสกไป anyway ตอนนี้ถ้าเกิดว่าถามว่า accent พี่คนก็จะรู้สึกว่าเป็น British ประมาณนึงแต่สำหรับพี่รู้สึกว่า my accent is a mixture of Britishness แน่นอนมันเป็นการรวมกันของ Britishness Americanness ถูกไหม Thainess ต้องมี Gayness ต้องมา Happiness ต้องปิดจบ That's it so this is my accent and I want you to know it's me when you talk to me on the phone you hear me I want you to know hi it's me it's LG I want you to know it's me it's my accent there you go
Okay, so how did the whole teaching thing start?
Oh.
How did you know you might be good at it?
Oh, okay. I started teaching when I was in my first year.
Of college?
Yes,
Oh, at Jula.
at Jula.
I see.
Then I fell in love with teaching when I was in my third year.
So like that's like private teaching, right?
Yes,
Like tutoring?
Yes, I had maybe 14 students
Wow,
back
that's a lot.
then. 15 students. ปีหนึ่งนะใน1ปีมีแค่15-16 คน but that was a lot.
Yeah.
And I made money, I made lots of money เพื่อที่จะช่วยที่บ้านก็ทำเงินอะไรเงี้ย but I didn't want to stop there I didn't want to stop in a coffee shop and I had a dream I had a new dream and I talked to my students like okay I want to have a school I want to run a school blah 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 and I have these ideas I have some vague ideas แล้วก็ถามเด็กว่า okay what should I call my school you have to help me ถามเมื่อกี้ว่า okay alright คิดชื่อให้หน่อย and then I had to choose between Angus นักเรียนตูดคิดให้ and เกสร
Oh, I like Gason too. That's
เก
cute
สร
too.
คือ
Yes.
like who is yeah ใครสอนก็เก้ไงเกสร so I went for Angus
Yes. I mean, it seems more professional.
yes right ไม่งั้นกระทรวงจะไม่อนุมัติหรือเปล่า right so ให้น้องโบเดาดีกว่า why Angus why
Because it's like English mixed with,
yeah it's อังกฤษwith a twist
yeah.
that's it the name makes people curious right and that's good people should be curious kids should be encouraged to think why I love that I love this one simple question why there's a chandelier in my school and kids often ask me why there's a runway
Yeah.
เด็กก็ why มีม่านไฟฟ้า why yeah it's amazing I just love it when people ask
And my niece actually took a class with you. I don't know if she still does. I haven't talked to her in a while. But she messaged me and she said, Ibo, no, Gobo.
อีโบเป็นคนจีนอีโบ
Gobo.
เหมือนตัวเฮียอะไรอีโบอย่ามาทำเป็นไม่รู้
มันก็จะรู้แหละว่าตัวเฮียคืออะไรบอกเนี่ยโกโบน้องจุดๆเรียนกับ พี่ลูกกอล์ฟโอ้โหพี่ลูกกอล์ฟสอนสนุกมากเลย that's what she said it was very fun and effective and I immediately messaged you and said oh my god my niece loved your class
you did
yeah so just to let you know you're doing such a great job
it's such a rewarding job what do you think of our school
I think it's great. The students seem to all love it. So it seems to be a very effective way of running a school.
They stay. They don't go home.
Yeah, they.
นักเรียนพี่ไม่กลับบ้านเลย I feed them and I ให้อาหาร Yeah, they just hang around. They just
Yeah, they come back. They've meant to have left years ago, and they're still knocking on the door.
I'm so fortunate to have, such amazing students who want to learn, who are willing to learn.
Did the business just take off immediately or did you have a rough start? How did it become so popular?
I don't know how it became so popular. I kept on teaching. I did my job.
Do you think it was like words of mouth?
Yeah. Definitely. ปากต่อปากแน่นอน
Yeah, referral, because like I said, like even my niece, like testimonial. She's like, oh, I'm having so much fun. I'm sure she told
คือ
her
แบบพี่
friends.
ว่าสำหรับโรงเรียนเนาะสำหรับใครก็ตามที่อยากทำโรงเรียนจริงๆแบบ business model ของมันคือก็อาจจะมีหลายแบบอะไรเงี้ยแต่สำหรับพี่คือแบบ I think English is like เจ๊ฝ่ายอะ you know เจ๊ฝ่ายไหม
Yeah.
People will come to you no matter where you are in this world if you're good they will find you
Yes.
And Greece is hidden, It's located in the heart of Bangkok, but still it's hidden. When I first started, I had maybe like 10 students. Now I have, 100, 200 students.
Wow.
So for me, that number was significant. I didn't feel bad. I just did my job. And then Anglids grew.
Do you teach all the classes yourself?
Yes.
Wow. To this day.
Yes.
That's awesome. Do you have a bigger plan for Anchors in the future?
Well, no. Well, the thing is, you never know what the future holds, right? จริงเราไม่รู้จริงๆนะเด็กๆว่าอนาคตมันจะเป็นยังไง And I stopped planning. I still think about tomorrow. But if you ask me, like right now, what matters the most right now? You.
Aww.
This room.
You live
right
in the
now,
moment.
Because you exist right now. So I don't know about tomorrow. And I'm not going to hold on to it. Angries will disappear. One day, I will be the past. We will be the past.
Right.
Not
Eventually.
now, but
Eventually.
Yeah, hello. Eventually. คือสุดท้ายเราก็จะไปเป็นอดีตไง
Right.
ดังนั้นวันนี้ my
course.
job is to plant more trees. หน้าที่ของเราคือปลูกเข้าไปปลูกต้นไม้ปลูก passion ปลูกแบบให้เด็กมี determination ความมุ่งมั่นให้เขามีความอยากรู้ให้เขามีความหลงไหลต่อภาษาอังกฤษให้เขามี kindness แล้ววันหนึ่งเป็นยังไงช่างมันแพลนของมันพอแล้ว I stop thinking about money
Yeah.
like seriously I can tell you right now I'm not loaded คือไม่ได้แบบโอ้ยพี่ลูกรวยเหลือเกิน I'm not but I'm happy I'm so happy with what I have You know why because every time I look at myself in the mirror I see that kid who suffocated ดังนั้นคือมาวันนี้คือเราจะเอาอะไรกับชีวิตอีก I've come a long way หาดใหญ่นะคะมาที่นี่ไกลนะคะ ได้ไปต่อถึงลอนดอนมันไกลมากเลย but there's still a long way to go
Yeah. Now we need to talk about your TV show.
English room
Look Out's English Room. As of April 2018, you guys have 150 plus episodes.
Amazing.
You've come such a long way.
Unbelievable.
What's the idea behind Look Out's English Room?
Oh, I wanted to teach English for free. That was the start of all this, really. I wanted to teach for free. คืออยากสอนฟรีแค่นั้นเอง ก็เลยเริ่มทำ It's been 4 years. English Room is like my son, my gay son. I'm happy he's happy. I'm positive that millions of people have learned a lot from this show. I've done my job. ฐานะที่เป็นคนไทยคนหนึ่งที่มีประโยชน์ I've done that job.
What do you expect your viewers to get from watching the show?
Knowledge, happiness, kindness, sympathy. I've been encouraging millions of Thais I think ถึงนะพี่ว่าเป็นล้านนะ
I mean you get like a million like some
I
per
think-
one clip
It's a big classroom. Imagine that คุณโบแล้วคุณผู้ฟังสมมติว่า English room เป็นห้องเรียนหนึ่งอะ It's such a big classroom right สมมติคลิปหนึ่งมีคนดู1 ล้านวิวอย่างเงี้ยแล้วล้านคนมาอยู่ด้วยกันสมมติแบบพี่สอนคนล้านคนนักเรียนเข้าแล้วอยู่คือกูแบบเด็กอยู่หลังห้องนั่น
can't
น่ะ
even fit that in a stadium
Yeah. So even though the show is under my name, I'm just a teacher in this school, not the headmaster. Just so you know. Okay. So yeah. So GMM is the headmaster.
right
ดังนั้นคือ there are things that I can't do. There are things that I can do as a teacher. Okay. แต่สิ่งหนึ่งที่พี่ทำมาตลอดแน่นอนคือการสร้างค่านิยมใหม่ให้คนเนี่ยก็คือ try to be kinder.คนเก่งแล้วจะต้องมีอะไรรู้ไหมจะต้องมี sympathy ความเห็นอกเห็นใจกับคนไม่เก่ง now listen carefully English to some people is like French or German okay just because your English is good it doesn't mean that you have the right to call people stupid คือพี่รู้สึกว่าคนที่เก่งบางทีคือแบบต้องใจเย็นๆบางคนแบบ oh come on this word is so easy you don't know this word come on you can't speak Japanese ไงYou can't speak Russian. You can't speak German. It's probably one of our biggest achievements. คือการทำให้คนแบบเห็นอกเห็นใจกันมากขึ้น
what do you think is the key success to English room
ยากจังเลยคำนี้ พี่ว่ามันคือ determination ความมุ่งมั่นของทีมงานตัวพี่แล้วก็ที่สำคัญคือ support ความสนับสนุนจากแขกThank you so much. You're one of them. You were on my show.
I wanted to go on your show
People, like seriously, คุณโบ พี่บิ๊ก people came to my show because they wanted to see me. I sound very cocky, yes. But yeah, they wanted to see me. ถูกไหมคือนางมาแล้วพี่แบบ it's so surreal, like seriously. So I've I interviewed so many big name celebrities such as พี่ Cindy. That was like a dream, พี่ Woody.คือเยอะเป็นพี่ทาทายังอย่างเงี้ย or even นิชคุณอย่างเงี้ย I just interviewed him I interviewed นิชคุณ on my show
Yeah
it was so surreal so I have to thank them คือต้องขอบคุณแขกที่มาด้วยแล้วที่สำคัญคือขอบคุณแฟนๆในการที่ทำให้รายการมันอยู่ได้แบบยาวนานนะคะ and thank you เสียงตอนแรกของ English Room no นะ tell them whose voice
Oh, my voice. Yes, I provided the very English voice at the beginning.
ทุกตอน it's his voice and he has never been paid no
I'm paid in the feeling of doing something for the English learners of Thailand.
ตอบดีมากค่ะ
สวยมงต้องลงแล้ว
So you're working with teenagers all the time and you're connected with them via social media. What kind of problems most of them have in common these days that you notice?
Well, teenagers have problems all over the world. We were onceพี่บิ๊กเร็ว Look at me คุณโบ
What do you mean
คุณโบ
were?
We were there right ทุกข้างนอกด้วยค่ะ We were there
Survivors.
right we were teenagers
Yep.
right we wanted to be loved we wanted to be accepted we wanted to be famous we wanted to be rich blah 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 we were there ดังนั้นวันนี้จะให้2คำแล้วกัน I'm going to give you 2 words for those who are struggling patience and hard work try to be patient good things come to those who wait it's not always true but sometimes you have to be patient I learned to be very patient when my dad and I stopped talking when I was in Matayom 5 he didn't talk to me we didn't talk we talked but we didn't really talk I lost my dad I lost him I talked to him again after my interview 1 บทสัมภาษณ์ที่พี่ให้ในรายการของพี่วูดดี้ตอนกลับมาจากอังกฤษแล้วอ่ะกี่ปีก็ไม่รู้อ่ะI learned to be very very patient ดังนั้นวันนี้อยากให้ทุกคนอดทนแล้วก็ที่สำคัญก็คือต้องสู้ทำอะไรอยู่ก็ต้องแบบอย่ามีแต่ฝันนะ Don't just dream do something stop dreaming come on หยุดฝันได้แล้วฝันทุกวันมึงไม่ทำอะไรสักอย่าง
I mean you can dream but you have to go after your dream
Yes.
Don't just only dream and sit around and do nothing about
yeah
it
right that's it
I feel you Okay
patience and hard work
Oh I feel like our listeners probably gained a lot from this episode, especially, your followers who are probably listening right now. And I think they've learned more, not just about English, but they learned more about life. Okay, so before we end this episode, let's play a little game.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's play.
This first one is called Would You Rather.
Okay.
Now, Kun Paul, would you mind joining us in
Okay,
this
I'll
game?
do my best.
He's nervous right now.
All right, so I want an answer from both of you, okay?
Okay.
The first one is, would you rather be a thief or be a beggar?
Oh God, I hate begging.
Yeah, but it's
And
honest.
I hate stealing.
Beggar has to be a beggar because you have. Yeah, it'd be better to. Both are going to be awful. You might as well go for the honest one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. So I rather be a beggar. พี่ตามผัวจบ
Don't
นะ
have to go for the same.
จบนะ I follow my heart จบนะ
That's how the relationship works. That's good. Compromise.
All right. Next question.
Next, would you rather live in an extraordinary home in an ordinary place or live in an ordinary home in an extraordinary place?
An ordinary home in an ordinary place.
So none of the above. Aw, why?
Life is all about being ordinary. Keep it simple. Just keep it simple.
What about you, Kun
Keep
Paul?
it simple.
Well, if I had to choose between the two, I think an ordinary home in an extraordinary place would be better because the other way around just feels a bit egotistical, really.
He's the sensible one.
Yeah. At least when you come, when you're bored at home, you can come outside and explore everything else.
จริงๆ I don't have to choose เพราะว่าอะไร I live with him.
Oh, good answer.
คนฟังไม่เหลือกตานะคะ จะไม่มีการเหลือกตาตอนนี้เห็นนะคะรู้ I know what you're doing so don't do that please อย่ามาเหลือกตาใส่นะ
คือ
คะ
พิธีกรเลือกไปแล้วค่ะ Would you rather have your life written into biography books or have your life made into movies?
Movies.
Books.
Ooh, I love it. Who would you have playing you in your movie? In the
Me?
movie?
เดี๋ยวฉันนึกก่อน Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
Let's work like that ทุ่งลุงเพราะมันคืออะไรรู้ไหม The Hunger Games. So I'm a kid from District 12 ไง
Yes. And you survived.
In the capital.
Yes. Okay. And Kun Paul can write the script for you.
Yeah, books for him. Books.
Yay! So thank you so much for coming today. But since we had so much fun today, Kru Lukov and Kun Paul will come back next week to talk more and also play more all the fun games that we have to get to know them better as a couple. And of course, I'd like to invite all of you to play along with us. So please, next Wednesday, please join us here on We Need to Talk at the Standard Podcast.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye. Thank you. สวัสดีค่ะโบสาวิตรีนะคะ This is We Need to Talk Podcast Talk Show ภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับคนไทยที่ใช้ภาษาอังกฤษค่ะ Hi you guys, welcome back to our show. Thank you so much for listening. Still here with us this week, ครูลูกกอล์ฟธนาทิพย์สุนทรรัก and he's here with his significant other คุณ Paul Burgess. Hello. สวัสดีค่ะทั้งคู่ Welcome back.
Hi, we're back.
Thank you.
I love the outfit change.
Yeah,
Of course, it's a new week.
It's a new day. It's a new day for me. Only for me. Anyway.
So last week we've talked to you about your school and your TV show. This week, let's talk about something else, or rather someone else too, but this particular person plays an important role in your life. Your other half.
Well, my partner.
Yes.
Right here. Hi, Paul. Hi.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Now let's go back in time about 10 years ago, I think, right? What year did you go to school in the UK?
9 years ago.
9 years ago. Okay.
2009.
And that's also when you met someone who changed your life, right?
Yeah.
And that person that I'm talking about, obviously, is the person sitting next to you right now, Kun Paul.
Yes.
Can you tell us about your first thought, your first impression when you met Kun Paul, when you laid your eyes on this
First word?
British guy?
Nice.
Or first thought.
Lovely.
First thought. Aww.
Well, I went to study
Yeah.
in England. I went there to study. I did my MA in theatre directing at East 15 Acting School, University of Essex. I didn't go there to fall in love.
Right.
I didn't plan it.
Yeah.
And I didn't think of myself as a relationship person before I met him.
What about you, Kun Paul? What was your first impression of Pilukov?
Well, I wasn't sure it was going to work, to be honest.
Why?
But actually, one of the things that we have in common is that neither of us think of ourselves as relationship people, and maybe that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe that takes off the pressure. But neither of us have, enough faith in the relationship.
I went to see his
and
show.
There's no pressure.
Yeah,
and then you came to see my show.
I went to see his show, and I met him first time there.
What was your show? What type of show was it?
So what do you do for a living?
So I work in theatre, mainly. I trained as a theatre designer, scenery, costume, projections and so on, but I also lead my own projects or lead projects with other people that are a bit more experimental. And this was one of those. It was a piece of documentary theatre about events in Burundi in 1993 that led towards the Rwandan genocide. So we'd interviewed people, we had original interviews, and then we made this piece of theatre. So it wasn't Broadway.
Yeah. So you said you went to see his show.
Yeah, I went to see his show, and we met.
Yeah.
Okay. So I took this from an interview you did on your book, Love at First Sight.
Sight,
like
yes.
sight, like แม่มาลัยสอโซรอเรือไม่โท
Yeah.
You said something along the lines of, in order to get to someone's heart, first you have to break the language barrier. So do you believe that communication is the key?
I do. Personally, I think that people who want to understand you will try to understand you. But if you want to truly and completely understand someone, you should learn their language.
Like sometimes you can communicate by like looks or gestures,
Yeah.
but words are also important.
Yes, if sometimes you want to talk about intellectual stuff, and sometimes you want to talk about really difficult stuff. You want to talk about sophisticated stuff, or sometimes when we fight, we hardly fight, no?
Oh, that's
We
good.
disagree politely. We're quite good at disagreeing politely.
Yeah, I mean we argue.
so
We
good.
argue politely and intellectually.
But the trouble is that ever since we met, his English has been so good that there's been no pressure on me to learn Thai, and my learning Thai has been terrible.
Who usually teaches you Thai?
No one. I don't even have a
Really?
teacher. He does, if
I'm
anyone.
Yeah.
But I'm a very bad Thai teacher because I end up speaking English with him all the time, and
Yeah.
it's just difficult. Anyway, I taught him a few words the other day. What did I teach you?
Oh.
เล่นอะไรเล่นหู
Oh, yes.
เล่นหูเล่นตา
Yes.
สอนแต่ละอย่างเล่นหูเล่นตา
Yeah.
ซึ่งเอาไปใช้ในชีวิตในประจำวันง่ายมากเลยคำนี้
อย่ามาเล่นหูเล่นตานะ อีกอันหนึ่งที่สอนคือนอนกินบ้านกินเมือง
Oh, yes, that's nice. Yeah.
That's so random.
Now tell them why
When?
did I teach you that? Why did I teach you that?
I think it describes his youngest brother very well.
Yeah.
So how good was your English when you met Kun Paul?
It was all right. Yeah, it was. You have
It's
to
very
ask
good.
him.
I don't think we ever had any problems communicating. I think it was very good.
Well, the thing is, you have to understand that my Thai will always be better than my English. My Thai is very, very good. My English is okay. I'm still learning. It's not perfect, but it's good enough.
Yeah.
But he makes me nervous sometimes because his English is very, very good.
But
Of
I'm
course.
still learning English. I mean, native English speakers are always still learning English because there are just too many words.
And
no one can ever learn all
Yeah.
of it.
And I asked him once. I asked him to be pedantic to correct me, and he's been doing that, which is brilliant. But
Been doing it ever since.
but still, he makes me nervous. You know, every time when I'm with him, like it's like my brain knows. It's like my brain knows, like Paul's here. So try to be perfect. And when I try to be perfect, I make mistakes, and it's stupid. You know, and I hate it. I end up feeling really self-conscious when I'm with him, and I hate that. So I have to tell my brain to stop overthinking. คือเวลาอยู่กับพอลนี่ประหลาดมากเลยอ่ะหัวสมองมันจะมาเลย all right try to be perfect he's here he's gonna listen he's gonna find out
And the daft thing is that it doesn't bother me. I don't really, personally, I don't feel particularly, English has to be strict. And there are different versions of English. The way that a lot of people I went to school with spoke or speak, some other people consider that they speak English badly, and there's a whole kind of snobbish judgment thing about that, whereas actually that's just how they speak, and it's, you know, how people speak in that part of England. But
and I mean even native speakers still don't speak perfect English.
We all make mistakes.
Exactly.
When we speak Thai, okay, making mistakes is inevitable. All right? So I'm going to make mistakes today. You don't have to edit. Huh.
Yes. I mean it's part of being a human.
Absolutely,
Yes.
When did you guys first realize that you want to give this relationship a chance? Even knowing that it might be a long distance relationship.
Well, I think after dating for a while, I mean, we decided to...
Yeah. Well, it was, at first you were living in London, so we didn't really have to think about it.
I didn't tell him that I would...
So I think it was probably when we decided, well, you came back to... What happened first? You came back to the UK before I came to Thailand, I think.
Yes.
So it's probably then that's when we had to really think about it, when it involved booking an air ticket. Whereas the first few months didn't really matter.
Well, I think we both didn't think it would be possible, I think.
No, I
back
think
then.
To be honest, if we thought about it too much, I think we would have been put off, really.
Yeah.
Because of the practical, you know.
We didn't think about it, you know.
Yeah.
And also, I don't really like flying.
Yes.
No.
You want to tell us why?
Why did you? Yeah. Did you have a bad experience
No,
or
I've
something?
never had a bad experience, but well, there's two things. One is that I always feel physically kind of a bit shaken and ill afterwards, and the other is that it's just terribly, you know, unethical and bad for the environment and all that. So, although we have planted a lot of trees out of guilt.
Yes. Paul is a vegetarian.
Are you?
I try to be.
Oh, okay. How long have you?
For him.
How long have you been a vegetarian?
I became a vegetarian when I was 19.
Wow.
And I'm now, should I even say my age? I'm 43. So I've been vegetarian a long time.
Wow.
I was a vegetarian for a month. It worked, but it didn't work.
Look, when you stay with me, you're a vegetarian.
Yes.
What inspired you to become a vegetarian?
Well, concern about the planet, but the impact that we make on the planet, really. I'm not particularly, you know, I'm not squeamish about eating dead animals or anything, but I am concerned about the impact that we make.
So speaking of long distance relationship, you know, a lot of people are afraid to try it just because, you know, the whole distant thing. And some people might say that, oh, like it would never work. But apparently obviously you guys pulled it off. What made it work? Is there any tips for other people out there who are in a long distance relationship right now and they really want to make their situation work?
For me, one word, trust. Yeah.
I think trust is the sort of foundation, but I think we've also been very lucky that we both have work patterns that are similar. So we're not stuck with Monday to Friday 9-to-5 jobs with you know a few days holiday. We've both got flexibility, and we also both work really hard when we're separate and try and create, you know, gaps when we can be together. So I think we've had a bit of luck as well. But.
So it's been almost 9 years.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It has.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's just crazy.
How do you guys see each other grow or changed over the years?
Well,
Paul has always been calm.
On the outside.
On the outside.
With the inner monologue.
And he has always been very systematic. And he hasn't changed much,
Yeah, I don't think you've changed much, but I think you've got.
which is a good thing.
You don't have to prove yourself so much. I think you've got more confidence, and I think probably a bit more serious, maybe.
Me?
You,
Have I changed?
I think a bit.
A lot.
But is there anything you'd like to change about the other person?
Oh, what a question. No, of course
No,
not.
nothing.
I think let's just go with that. We'll do a separate interview about it.
Yeah. Well, he is a very private person. จริงๆเป็นคนแบบ private มากวันนี้แต่วันนี้ก็อยากมาคุยกับน้องโบนี่แหละ We want to talk to you because we need to talk to you.
We need to talk.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us a chance a little bit to interview you guys as a couple.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
You guys support each other's career. Kun Paul with Angus and P. Lukoff with Kun Paul's book Monkey Business. What's your book about?
The book is about English idioms, so really kind of weird, odd bits of English. And it's really because it's something that I know students find difficult.
Should we give us some concrete examples?
Yeah.
You can guess.
Guess what they mean.
Yeah. English idioms.
So things like to kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Come on, that's too obvious.
Let's do that.
Right, yeah.
Because I know it. I'm just kidding.
Life of, I love this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Life of Riley.
Why does that sound familiar? Wait, I saw that somewhere the other day. Was it in the script? No, it wasn't.
No.
Where did I see it? Did you see it on your Instagram?
Stephen.
Oh, that's why.
Right, yes.
So what is it?
It means when you have a really easy life, you can call it Life of Riley. And I don't know why. It's just strange.
Yeah.
Monkey business, for example.
It makes you wonder who Riley is.
Yeah, who's Riley?
Who is Riley?
Yes.
Someone who had such an amazing life, probably.
Yeah. Oh, you were saying monkey business.
Monkey
right?
business.
Yeah.
It's like fooling around, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, funny around.
Oh, thank God I knew that one. Gotta save my face.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
It's such an amazing book, though. Check it out. ไม่ได้ขายนะครับมันดีจริง
Where can you get it? ชง
Angris.com ไม่ได้ขายนะคะแต่บางครั้งมันก็ต้องนิดนึง
Angus.com นะคะไม่ได้ขายค่ะ For those who unfortunately have had bad experiences and probably had given up on true love, and basically they might think that they were meant to be alone. I was there at one point in my life, actually. What do you want to say to them, especially to the LGBTQ community out there?
I think if you do want a relationship, it's never too late. Actually, my parents have a friend who got married for the first time, I think, in her 60s. So, but also being alone is totally fine, and no one should judge you for that.
We want you to know that being alone is okay. You don't have to feel bad.
Yes.
You don't have to feel guilty.
Also, looking for someone is okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's funny you said that because I was one of those people who thought I was meant to be alone, and I actually talked to my family about it because I was like, I'm okay being alone. And eventually I'm like, okay, maybe I was meant to be alone, and I was content with myself, and I was working on myself and just focusing on family and friends, and I was having such a good time. And then I found my husband just when I gave up on love, and I found and then we got married
when you were looking.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes things,
I wasn't looking. Yes.
Patience.
I wasn't looking.
Yeah.
I was looking for I was
No, neither of us were, I think.
Yeah.
We were both quite surprised.
It just happened. See?
Yes.
But you also said specifically in relation to the LGBTQ community.
Right.
And I think something about that's important is that there's not really any difference between... There's this idea that people who aren't straight can't have relationships or can't have normal relationships. And which is nonsense, really. There's just no difference in anyone's ability to have a relationship, whatever their sexuality or gender or whatever, really. I think that needs to be said.
Yes. There you go.
Well, you answered the question so well, and I have nothing to say. I have nothing else to say.
So when they say those who are lucky in game tend to be unlucky in love and vice versa, not true in your case, obviously. You're the living proof. So how do we keep the balance and win it all from your experience?
You don't have to win it all, I think. if you are lucky in game that's good if you are lucky in love that's good if you have it all that's great but it's okay not to have it all if you're listening to us right now I don't want you to be like this ไม่อยากให้เป็นแบบนี้นะแบบ oh I want to be like พี่ลูกกอล์ฟ no yeah บางคนฟังอยู่บอก oh I want to have a boyfriend like him no yeah I want to be confident like him no be confident like you what do you want and be content ถูกไหมคือบางคนบอกว่า I want to be alone fine be alone บอกว่า oh I want to you know
Well, you can be ambitious, but you should be ambitious on your own terms, not
Yes.
trying to copy someone else.
yes
Okay, let's play more game. Are you guys ready?
yes we are ready okay mama let's play a game
Oh, okay.
All right, so this game is called Super Random Questions.
Oh my God.
So take your time, no hurry. In case you want more time to come up with the best answer, skip it first, and then you can come back later.
okay
Okay? Who is your most favorite Disney princess of all time?
I go first
Sure.
Ariel
Mine too. Ariel and Cinderella. I love both of them.
Ariel look at this stuff isn't it neat did you listen to that song when you were
Yeah,
What
well,
do
I
you think
didn't
my
really grow up with
collection's
much.
complete?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
listen. I didn't see much Disney as a kid, but
Come on.
But
Must be one.
But I babysit for a little girl in London who's my friend's daughter, and she is obsessed by Elsa.
Okay.
And I've played, because I play the violin, I've played Let It Go on the violin for her, so I feel I relate pretty strongly. So, you know, Elsa.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Can you name all the items in your fridge right now?
In what?
I can because I cleared my fridge to come to Thailand, so it's empty.
In my fridge? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
name all the items.
Mangoes. Pimi mangoes. Jam. Vegetables.
That's it?
There's lots of fruit
Yeah.
in your fridge.
I'm not in charge of the fridge.
Who is?
My sister is.
Okay, so that's probably why. Okay, next question.
I don't feel we really entered into the spirit of that question.
No. Okay. Right, next question.
Can you think of anything you don't like to do but have to do anyway?
I don't want to go, but I have to go. I don't want to say goodbye to you, but I have to say goodbye to you.
That's so sad. What about you?
Well, the list is so long because I run a little theatre company, and the amount of the administration, the tax stuff, all that.
Yeah, all the fun stuff.
If you've got half an hour, I will go through it all.
จริงๆเป็นคนตลกนะเป็นคนจริงจังแล้วตลกเนอะเป็นคนตลกเนอะตลกแล้วเนอะ
Who is your first celebrity crush?
Ooh. Me? Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh my God, yes!
She saw that guy.
Yes, that's like my favorite.
You know him?
Oh my God, he's like, come on! No. Our generation, he was like the best.
Freddie
My first was Leo though, but Freddie Prinze is pretty up there.
Okay.
What about you, Kun Paul?
Well, I grew up without television until I was about 14, and then even then I didn't really watch much. So all my crushes were characters in books, I think.
Who? Like who?
No one that anyone knows, really. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, no.
He has a very interesting life.
Yeah.
But you need more time.
I know. Seriously,
You need more time.
that sparked my interest. I really want to know about that. Not having TV until 14, I really want to hear that story if we have time. Name some of the ultimate dream guests for English Room.
Oh.
Who would you like to interview that you haven't yet?
Right now? J-Lo.
Yes.
I'm following her on Instagram and I love her.
Yeah, she's
I love
amazing.
her.
She looks great. What would be the word you use a lot or maybe too much? Both of you guys.
Bloody. You use the word bloody a lot.
Do I? Oh dear.
That's so British.
Oh dear, you use the word oh dear a lot.
Oh
You use the word
dear.
oh dear. You oh dear all the
Yeah.
time, Paul. You oh dear a lot. What about me? ฉันเลย I have a question. I use this a lot.
I have a question.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question.
If we gave you a credit card and tell you to go into a shopping mall and buy 3 things that best describes Kulukov and Paul, what would these 3 items be?
Oh.
Well, for you, it would. A few years ago, it would have been a bag, but now it's a hat.
Yeah, three
things.
That's one thing.
What else? Come on.
Dinner for all your students.
Oh, yeah.
He often buys dinner for his students.
All the time. What else?
The third thing.
Clothes for you.
Oh, clothes for me. Yes, he often buys clothes for me.
For him ของ Paul เหรอ
ค่ะ
he would buy books
Yeah I would have guessed
and books
and more books Reading is great
Yeah why not
Oh that's it that's all our questions actually I wish we wouldn't run out of time because I'm having so much fun with you guys but thank you so much for being here today any last words you'd like to say
Thank you for having us Thank you for having us
Yes, thanks very much indeed. Yeah, it was a real pleasure.
Yeah
หวังว่าวันนี้จะได้แบบทำความรู้จักกันจริง
Yeah
ๆเนาะแบบกับคุณผู้ฟังใดๆแล้วก็ขอบคุณมากๆที่เชิญมานะคะแล้วอย่าลืมเรามารณรงค์กันดีกว่าว่า Don't judge a book by its cover Just don't judge นะอย่าตัดสินนะทำความรู้จักเขาก่อนนะ
Perfect ending ถ้ารู้ว่าเพื่อนคนไหนรักภาษาอังกฤษชอบฟังภาษาอังกฤษและเรื่องราวชีวิตที่น่าสนใจของเซเลบหลากหลายโบฝากแชร์เอพิโซดนี้ให้เขาฟังด้วยนะคะ This is Bo Savitri วันนี้ไปก่อนนะคะ สวัสดีค่ะ
The Standard Podcast Eye Opening for your ears